What is up, everybody? We have a big time live stream on our hands today, talking transfer portal, talking bowl game, talking new coaches, rumors. My goodness, this is going to be a packed show. I'm excited, man. It's been a little bit of a while since we got on a live stream, but that means we have a lot to talk about, a lot of transfer portal stuff to get into, some updates that just recently happened. I'm pumped up. Everybody, comment down below where you're tuning in from. Make sure to hit that like button because we have a really fun live stream on our hands tonight. Before I get into it, I want to thank every single one of you guys for 9,000 subscribers. We hit it about 2 hours ago, so I appreciate you guys. But you guys know how it is, right? We're going to be going to 10,000. We're going to be posting videos every single day. The grind does not stop. Sometimes YouTubers, when they, reach a certain subscriber count, they stop posting. No, we're going to keep going at a big rate. We're going to continue to post and continue to let you guys know on the news. But man, oh man, let's get into it, guys, talking about everything that's going on right now with this program, talking transfer portal. Let's get this started with the agenda. Again, you guys can feel free to put stuff in the comment section. We'll get to the comment section at some point in this live stream, but I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. First things first. All right, let's get into Eric Rivers first. I want to give you guys a little bit of an update around him, what's been going on there with Eric Rivers. So arguably, this is the guy that Nebraska wants the most out of any single player in the transfer portal. There's a lot of good ones. Eric Rivers is the guy that personally I want the most. I think Matt Rhule wants the most. I think the offensive coaching staff wants the most. And things look phenomenal here for the Huskers. So Eric Rivers was on campus Sunday and Monday, just recently left to go on a visit to Georgia Tech, and he was wowed, according to the staff, according to people inside the program. And this is a guy who was AP third-team All-American around the country, one of the best transfers in America. I think this is an absolute stud. Again, about 6 foot tall, 175, but one thing that really stood out with his visit with Nebraska is Dylan Rhule. That connection that he's building with Dylan Rhule. He wants to play with a good quarterback. He's not necessarily going to get that if he goes somewhere else. So I really like where Nebraska stands with Eric Rivers. Some people were asking me, though, they were saying, Wilson, is he going to commit anytime soon? Maybe this weekend, but he's going on another visit to Penn State and Colorado. But that's the first guy I want to get things started with. This is the guy I want the most out of pretty much almost anybody. Eric Rivers is an absolute stud, but it's looking really good for the Huskers. But he was impressed by Dylan Rhule. He was impressed by the coaching staff. He was impressed by the facilities. I mean, he was at Florida International last year. Imagine how those facilities are compared to Nebraska's new, $500 million facility. So I really like where we stand with Eric Rivers. That's the first guy I'm watching out for. And people are asking me all the time. They're like, Wilson, why is Nebraska going after wide receivers so heavily? And I agree, there's other positions of need. I think corner's a big position of need. Linebacker, obviously, we need some guys there. But people forget how bad the wide receivers were last year. They're acting like this receiver room for Nebraska is absolutely stacked. I don't know about you guys, but the receiver room from last year was not good. We only really had one good player. That was Ja'Cory Barney, and he was a true freshman. So we absolutely need about 2 or 3 guys here. Nebraska's being aggressive. So that's the first guy I want to talk about when it comes is Eric Rivers. Now, I also want to get to the second guy I want the most. I'm probably spelling his name wrong. Isaiah Hunter will be on campus tomorrow. I'm happy to report. So Isaiah Hunter, of course, we talked about him if you watched any of my recent videos. 600 yards last year. Again, I compare this guy to Ja'Cory Barney. He's Cal Ja'Cory Barney, but it's down to us or K-State for an Isaiah Hunter. If you could have that combination right there with Eric Rivers and Isaiah Hunter, Ja'Cory Barney, and Jalen Lloyd, that just gets me pumped up, man. But he's 6'2", good speed, good hands, gets open. Really, really like this player. And Isaiah Hunter is a really good player. But those are the 2 guys that Nebraska wants the most. I want to get into Isaiah World here because this guy has been somebody who is probably on that top list for Nebraska. I'd say top 3. Again, it was just announced yesterday that his top 3 is Nebraska, Texas A&M, and Oregon. He canceled his Ohio State visits going over to Oregon. It's going to be a bidding war for Isaiah World, but this is a guy who's going to start instantly on the offensive line. He's the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal, according to 24/7 Sports. Did not give up a single sack. I mean, just look at this guy. This guy is an absolute brawler, 6'8", 310 pounds. He absolutely looks the part. So Nebraska's in a good spot. He was really wowed by his visit. I will say this about Isaiah World. If it gets in a bidding war, I don't know if Nebraska can win. Texas A&M, I mean, they got money. We know how it is with Texas A&M, and we know how it is with Oregon. They got Nike money. So if this guy cares about money the most, which don't get me wrong, most transfers care about money over everything. Let's be particularly clear. But I think we're still in a good place with Isaiah World. I just don't love where we stand if it's a bidding war. But I think if he comes here, he knows he's going to start right away. He's going to play against talent, and I think he really likes Donovan Raiola. That was something that he noted on his visit. So wanted to mention that around Isaiah World. We have another offensive tackle visiting us tomorrow, who I will be talking about in tomorrow's video. So I don't want to spoil that just yet. But I want to talk about arguably somebody was. I think people. I made a video today talking about Andrew Marshall, who was a guy that's going to be visiting Nebraska tomorrow. And people were crapping on it. They were like, this FCS corner, he's not good. Why are we going after FCS players? I don't think you guys understand. Andrew Marshall is one of the most sought after corners in the transfer portal right now. And people, like, yes, I get it. I get that he's from Idaho. Don't get me wrong. I get that he is playing at that FCS level. But production is the most important thing. I don't care who you're playing, whether it's, Power 5 teams, Group of 5 teams, FCS teams, Division 2 teams. If you're a good player and you make plays, I want you on my football team. Andrew Marshall was the best corner on Idaho, one of the best corners in FCS football. He's a guy who's a man-to-man corner. That's something Nebraska lacks right now. Okay, our secondary is not awesome with our returning talent. Yes, you have C, you're right. That's really about it. You need a true man-to-man corner who can guard anybody in the country. Andrew Marshall has good speed. Andrew Marshall has really good speed, really good hands, good athleticism, good feet, good footwork. And he's a guy who's an elite returner. When was the last time Nebraska had an elite returner? DeMornay Pearsonell? So I just think this is a phenomenal get for Nebraska if we can possibly get him. He's on a visit tomorrow. He's really lined up no over the visits. I think Nebraska tampered here, to be honest with you. If you want my personal opinion, I think Nebraska tampered on Andrew Marshall and said, hey, if you enter the portal, we're going to land you. But we were in a good place for them. But again, I don't care. Production over everything. I'm tired of taking these past 4-star recruits in the transfer portal who've never produced in college. No, I'd rather get a guy who's productive, who was a 0-star recruit. Like, that's what Indiana did. If you want to know Indiana's philosophy, how they were good this year, they didn't care who they got from the transfer portal as long as they were productive. And look how that's going out for them. They made the college football playoff. So Andrew Marshall's a guy who I expect Nebraska to land by the weekend. So watch out for him. Another guy that I want to talk about here, Adrian Maddox, probably has the best film of any. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I think he has one of the best films of any of the transfers Nebraska's after. I'm going to pull this film up real quick. I hope I don't get demonetized by YouTube. But let's go ahead. I want to pull up Adrian Maddox film. Oh my goodness. There's some Arkansas fans who really want him. But this guy is probably one of the most hard-hitting safeties I have watched on film. I mean, just an absolute my goodness, I literally found his film earlier today. Here we go. So I want you guys to watch this real quick. Okay. He was at UAB last year. Before that, I believe he was playing in FCS football. The stats speak for themselves. Let's see if we can pull up this. He is just an absolute hard hitter. Okay. Here we go. Alabama State. Is it going to load? Oh my goodness. Dude, Twitter. Here we go. Watch this clip. Pass right over the middle. Look at this. Look at this. Bam! Knock that ball free. Anyways, I just think Adrian Maddox is a complete stud. That is a dude who has legit. I mean, he can lay the boom on just about everybody. Really, really like Adrian Maddox. Now, it should be noted, Arkansas is going after him heavily, visiting, I believe, tomorrow. So watch out for Arkansas in this process. But Adrian Maddox is a guy who literally can lay the boom on just about anybody. Actually has pretty good ball skills as well. He has 7 passes defended. This guy's an instant starting safety for Nebraska. That's an under-the-radar guy that I talked about today. But he will be on a visit, I believe, Friday for Nebraska. But Adrian Maddox, I mean, he's probably top 5. If I were to make people want to know, like, the top 5 guys that I want, Eric Rivers, Isaiah World, Isaiah Hunter, Adrian Maddox, Andrew Marshall. Those are the 5 right there for the Huskers. And then a guy who is coming on a visit, I believe, tomorrow, AJ Penna from Rhode Island, 12 sacks. Again, FCS. Oh, we can talk about how he's not playing talent. It doesn't matter. He has 12 sacks, guys. 12 sacks. So really, really like this guy a lot, AJ Penna. Really, really good play. 81 tackles, 12 sacks. He should be committing to Nebraska soon. So those are the guys that I really want to talk about. Nebraska also got 2 commits today. Jalen George committed earlier. Now this is a guy who I mean, the stats aren't, they don't blow you away, right? 33 tackles, half a sack. But it should be noted that he got 23 quarterback pressures. So while the stats don't look phenomenal, 23 quarterback pressures is a phenomenal stat. And he was first team all conference. Like, is this guy going to be a starter for Nebraska? No, not every transfer portal addition is a home run. But to me, he's just a solid defensive lineman who's going to come here. He's going to play early. So I want to talk about him. And we just got a punter commit. I did not make a video about this because I was like, it's a punter. But again, this is basically just Brian Buschini 2.0. Washington liked him a lot. I believe he has 2 years of eligibility left. Averaged 44 yards a punt, which is pretty all right, and then 62 long. I think this is wrong. He had about 12 punts inside the 20, so decent punter. I don't really know how to break down a punter, to be honest with you, but honestly, I think that was a good get for the Huskers, and it's good that they addressed that punter was a big need. So wanted to go over those guys. But now let's talk about some of the transfers who are leaving Nebraska really quick, because I think this is interesting, looking at some of the players who ended up leaving Nebraska, where they're going, because some of them did not go to the best fit. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So let's go to the portal here. The players who are leaving Nebraska. All right. Let's go to latest. Oh, great. I have to put this all back in again. Hold on. All right. So here are the players who are leaving Nebraska. Obviously, Dante Dowdell into the portal. That was a complete shock. Again, I'll get to the comment section later. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of we're gonna talk a lot about Dante Dowdell. So make sure to stick around when we get to the comment section. But James Williams today committed to Florida State. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, that was not shocking at all. We kind of knew he was gonna follow Terrence Knight, and I just don't think James Williams was a loss. That's my hot take. Like, James Williams was a fine player, but again, he could only rush the passer, and even with that, he was incredibly inconsistent. He'd get 2 sacks one game, he wouldn't get a single sack the other game. I'm just not freaking out about James Williams, losing him at all. Like, I didn't think he was going to start next year. The fact that 24/7 put him as a 4-star transfer, like, what are we doing here? I mean, he's fine. He's not an NFL player, so I don't really get that. I'm not honestly not going to miss him that much. Then you have Mekhi Bayer committed to Missouri. I like that fit, honestly, for him. Again, SEC school, wish him the best of luck. Daniel Kalen went over to Virginia. Daniel Kalen just keeps getting screwed, because I don't know if you guys followed the storyline. After he committed to Virginia, Virginia picked up another quarterback in the transfer portal. So he's not even going to get playing time anytime soon. So I think he made a pretty big mistake there going to Virginia. Princewell Emmanuel went to Ole Miss. Not shocking there. His brother was there last year. And then Jamari Butler over to LSU. Wish him the best of luck. Not crazy there. But what's interesting, Stephon Thompson, also FSU. One thing that's I thought was funny today. So we saw that the other day Davon Hall entered the transfer portal. Davon Hall posted on Twitter today. He said, I'm still in the transfer portal, and posted his film. Pretty clear to me that Davon Hall is not getting any interest in the portal from any schools. So the whole thing that the grass is green on the other side is not true, because Davon Hall is getting no interest. I bet Isaiah Morris is getting no interest. Like, these guys are just, at the end of the day, not every single player that leaves Nebraska is going to be an impact player somewhere else, and I don't know why they would leave. If you're a freshman player at a Power 4 program, why would you leave? Because the grass isn't going to be greener. You're not going to get in a better situation, especially in his case. So I don't know what happened there with those guys. All right, guys, let's get into the comment section. Start putting your thoughts down below on what's going on, the transfer portal, guys you want, and then we'll get to some more things I want to talk about, the new coaches, the bowl game, just a lot of stuff going on. But I want to get to the transfer portal and what you guys are thinking. So let's get to the comment section. So start putting your stuff in there, guys. Daniel says, "Go Big Red. We need like 2-3 offensive line transfers, 2 wide receivers, 2 linebackers, 2 cornerbacks." I think we need. I like that you said. 3 offensive line transfers. I think we need 2 tackles, 1 guard, 2 wide receivers, yes. 2 linebackers, yes. 2 corners, yes. I think we need 4 defensive backs, period. 2 corners, 2 safeties, 1 more defensive lineman I like. And I'd throw a tight end there. I wouldn't mind if we could get a tight end. Now, we're not exactly offering a tight end right now, but that's what I wouldn't mind. I would not mind if we get a tight end, because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I like Carter Nelson. We all like Carter Nelson. He's going to be a really good player. we know what Thomas Fidone is. And, and Matt Rhule hinted at the other day that Thomas Fidone might enter the portal. That wouldn't shock any of us. Luke Lindenmeyer's a guy who's just a fine blocking tight end. Mac Markwood's a guy who has a high potential, but's always got injured. We need another tight end, in my opinion. But I really like that. I agree with you on that. How much for Branch to commit to Nebraska? Branch isn't committed to Nebraska, man. Him and his brother, I think they're going to Bama or Georgia. I would love if they came here, man. Those guys are studs. The punter, okay, you're right. The punter only has 1 year left. That sucks. I would have liked if he had 2, man, because we're gonna have to go back in the portal next year. I heard a nugget that Camden Cook is not looking too phenomenal in practice, and that's the reason why we're going after a punter transfer, because just Camden Cook, that he's not ready to go. I don't know if he'll ever be ready. If you're a punter and you're a kicker and you're not starting by year 2, you're probably never going to start. Like there's just not a bunch of development that goes on as a kicker. So Branch, yeah, we're not getting Branch, guys. It's not happening. Not happening. Congrats on your milestone. Appreciate it, man. We're on the road to 10,000. I love you guys. You guys are a great family here, and that's the reason why I do it. Just keep you guys updated. It's a lot of fun for me as well. Record predictions for next year. Obviously that's off-season content. If I were to spitball something, I'd say 7-8. Like I don't know. Matt Rhule always talks about this big jump that he takes between year 2 to year 3. So I can see 9 wins. I can see 10 wins. We have a very easy schedule next year, but we said it almost every single year with Nebraska. We say, we're going to beat down these Big Ten West teams, and we always lose to them. So, again, that'll be a video that comes out pretty soon. I'll have like an early schedule prediction or something, but I'm looking at 8 wins. Is Dante fully gone? No, nobody's fully gone, but I expect him to leave. Like I never see somebody enter the portal and expect them to come back. Like I didn't really expect that with Emmett. And that Emmett thing's a whole oh my gosh, that Emmett situation was crazy, man. That was a crazy thing that happened. The whole deal with him entering the portal, and I'm sure most of you guys saw my video about that, and then obviously the negotiations with him and the staff to get him to come back, and that was a whole situation, man. But anyways, going back to Dante Dowdell, I think he's gone. The fact that he entered the transfer portal now and not 1 week ago when it opened tells me that something dramatic changed in the last week. So I don't expect him to come back, to be honest with you. But I would love him back. The fan base was ripping Dante Dowdell today. They were ripping him. They're saying, Dante was never that good. He couldn't break any they said he couldn't evade a tackler. He didn't have speed. Like, what those people don't understand is Dante Dowdell was not asked to do that. He was a physical, big, bruising running back. If you need a couple yards, you give it to Dante. He wasn't expected to juke out a guy. He wasn't expected to have 4.4 speed. Like, not every running back needs to have blazing speed. Look at the past 2 Heisman winners, Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram. None of those guys were trailblazers. So, anyways, I really like Dante Dowdell. I don't expect him to be back. That was a shock to me. I heard nothing about that. I thought he was going to be back. He liked Lincoln. I just think something changed in last week. To be honest, the reason why he entered now and not a week ago is because something changed, and it's either he didn't like Holgerson's offense or Emmett Johnson coming back kind of. I don't know. He was jealous about something, whether that's NIL, whether that's something else. I don't know. But I think the staff might try to get him back. We'll see. But it's not a done deal. I'm just not expecting him to come back. Deuce, we're not going to get Deuce Robinson. Deuce Robinson, there was a lot of smoke around him initially when he entered the portal. He has not took a visit to Nebraska. It is what it is. He doesn't have like a whole bunch of production, so I'd rather have Isaiah and I'd rather have Eric. If we can get both those guys in the portal at wide receiver, we're chilling. We're in a good spot. James Williams is completely overrated. Again, we completely agree on this, Nickel. We completely agree. James Williams is overrated. Like, I will tell you guys how it is. Like, I'm very honest. I think Prince William Anielum was a loss. I think Jamari Butler was a lesser of a loss. I do not think James Williams was a loss. I think he was overrated his entire career here. He did the same thing in 2023. He had like one game where he had 2 sacks and broke out and then never did it again. I just don't think he's going to be anything for Florida State. When he was gone, I was like, all right. When Kai Wall left, I was like, all right, this is what it is. Deuce Robinson is extremely overrated. I think he's a little overrated, but I would love to have him here. I mean, the production isn't great, but he's a 5-star. He's 6'6". He plays receiver. Like, there's potential there. And I would love to see how Dana Holgerson used him, but again, he's not coming here. Corn Crazy says Dante Dowdell was tampered with. I tampered with. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Most transfers are tampered with. We're tampering. We tampered with Williams and Wannery. We tampered with Andrew Marshall. So that's just how it is. And teams are trying to tamper with Dylan. So the NCAA is not going to do anything about it. Like, tampering's just what's going on now. So Is what it is. Tight end not needed at all. I think we need one as depth because we're gonna lose some. We already lost Bork. We're gonna lose Fedoni. Like I think we might need one, but it is what it is. I wouldn't be mad if we didn't. I just I prefer if we got one, but it's not like a deal breaker. We need another running back. Yeah, that's what I think too. I really do. And I made a video earlier today talking about the running back targets that I want. You know, the UCLA guy, I believe I went over a FAU guy. So we'll see if we get a running back. We haven't offered anybody. I think they want Dante back, but I don't know if that'll happen. Malachi to Minnesota. I saw that. Oh, he didn't commit, but he went on a visit. That would be, I don't know how good of a fit that'd be with Minnesota's offense. I don't know. Malachi has some offers though. We'll see where he ends up. I talked on the phone with him, I want to say 3 Mondays ago when he entered the portal. Wished him well. But yeah, he picked up a lot of offers, he told me. So good for him. I'm wishing him the best of luck wherever he goes. Steve says, I feel that Princewell is a little overrated. I agree. Like, he's overrated in the portal. He's still a good player, though. Like, Princewell is a very good player. We would have loved to have him back. The staff was not shocked to see him go, though. They were anticipating it. But he's a good player. Like, I think he was a guy who was severely underutilized throughout his career here. And I'll stand on that forever. Will William take a jump development-wise to a starter for us? Yeah, I try to temper my expectations for Williams Wannery. I'm trying to pronounce his name right. It's either Wannery, Nawery. I don't know, man. I'm just going to stick with Nawannery. Anyways, I talked to my cousin who's a Missouri fan. Shout out to Zane. And he's a guy who's connected to the programming, and he knows what he's talking about. I asked him, hey, how's Williams Wannery? Well, how was he in his first year? And he said, he's a good player. He said Williams Wannery has a good potential, but he has some off-the-field issues. And I asked him, what's going on with Williams Wannery? He just said, quote unquote, he was late to practice. He was late to bus rides, supposedly. He just kind of felt like he didn't want to be there. So obviously that is a little bit of a concern, but at the end of the day, Williams Wannery is still a really good player. And the fact that here's my suspicion is that Williams Wannery never really wanted to be at Missouri. Like, obviously he committed there initially. Then when Jamar went over to Nebraska, he said, I don't even want to be here. I want to go over to Nebraska. And this was kind of the place he always wanted to be. So for that reason, his head really wasn't in it. So I think going to Nebraska with his old head coach, with his buddy Isaiah, I think he's going to be a better headspace and ready to go. But I don't expect Williams Wannery to start next year. Okay, here's your 3 on the defensive line. Riley Van Poppel at D-end, Elijah Judy at nose tackle, and your other D-end is going to be Keona Davis, I expect. Or actually, not Keona Davis, Cameron Lenhart. Then Keona Davis off the bench is going to get a lot of reps along with Williams. I just don't expect Williams to necessarily start right away, but he has great potential. I feel like he's going to be good. He's practically like a high school kid. The fact that he didn't play as a true freshman means nothing to me. He was on that defensive line. It is what it is. He'll be a good player. Does Nebraska lack booster money, or are they more selective? We do lack booster money. This is, Brett, you took one of my talking points for later. We are struggling right now with our NIL a little bit. You can, if you follow the NIL on social media at all, you know that they're being aggressive to try to get people to donate. Our NIL is not as good as Oregon. It's not as good as Texas. It's still, our NIL is a top 20. It's probably top 15. It's just not top 10 right now. And I don't know if you guys have followed the portal at all. You know who's having a really good year? Texas Tech. You want to know why? One of their former players is now a billionaire through the oil market, and he's donating all his money to Texas Tech. And Texas Tech has got the best players from the portal out of any school. Like, it's actually ridiculous what's going on. So Texas Tech took Cole Wisnowski from Nebraska, who was going to commit here, and then he went over to Texas Tech because they were offering so much more money. So I saw all that to say this. Our NIL does need to improve. Like, where is our big booster? Are any of our alumni, like, really, really rich right now? Like, can Ndamukong Suh is a big finance bro. Can that guy just get rich through the stock market and then start investing money in our program? Like, can we have that going on? Like, I don't get it, man. We need more money. Where is Warren Buffett? Oh yeah, Warren Buffett's giving all his money to Creighton. That's where Warren Buffett's money is going. It's going to Creighton. It's going to Omaha. So, yep. Are we going to get another quarterback? We're trying to, man. We're trying to. Obviously, I reported on that Purdue quarterback who visited yesterday, Marcos Davila. We also had interest in Cameron Edge, who was a transfer from Maryland who never really played. We just want anybody, honestly. We want any quarterback we can possibly get. Doesn't matter if they played. Doesn't matter if they haven't played. We want a backup. We need a backup. We can offer more money than Ole Miss for Quan Lacey. That's not true. Ole Miss has a better collective than us. Trust me on that one. Ole Miss has a better collective than us. They constantly out-recruit us in the portal and in high school recruiting. I don't know where their money's come from, but they got a better collective than us. Emmett was at Walmart today buying kids Christmas presents. Yeah, man, Emmett's a good guy, dude. Emmett's a good guy. Again, been lucky. Again, I really never knew Emmett until I made a video about him. I want to say this summer, and he followed me on my socials, and we talked a little bit. Emmett's just a really good guy. Like, I was sad to see him gone. And then obviously he came back, so that was huge. But again, that whole situation was crazy, man. That whole situation was crazy. Dante saw Emmett come back. Emmett got some guarantees. Dante didn't like it. Exactly, man. Exactly. Right. That's what I was told, that Emmett got some guarantees, right? Like, people hate it. They say Matt Rhule isn't going to guarantee a starting job to anybody. That's not true. In modern day transfer portal college football, you have to guarantee stuff to people. That's how they're going to commit to your school. There's a lot of players who want guarantees. They want to say, hey, like Casey Thompson wanted a guarantee. He didn't get it from Matt Rhule, but he got it somewhere else, right? That's what the portal is. Guarantees. That, hey, if I'm gonna go to your school, I want a certain amount of carries, I want to start, I want a certain amount of snaps, whatever. That's just the way college football is nowadays. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Dante's a beast. I agree with you, man. It was unfortunate seeing the fan base kind of rip him, like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it is a big deal. Dante was he had 12 touchdowns for us this year, man. He had 12 touchdowns. So I agree with you, Nickel. Chances we get Eric Rivers and Isaiah Hunter, in a percentage, Eric Rivers, 40%. It's tough because Penn State's still a wild card with him not visiting there yet, and Colorado's in the mix too. And I'd say Isaiah about 70. I like where we stand with Isaiah a lot. It's us and K-State. I think he'll commit here. Did you see Micah Hudson rumored demand list? It's pretty insane if true. I did not see that. Feel free to put that in the comment section. Micah Hudson's a diva, dude. Some people are asking me about Micah Hudson. They're like, Nebraska should go after this guy. He's a diva, bro. A lot of these 5-star receivers, they're divas. Like, we just don't want to deal with them. Ole Miss king of tampering. Yeah, bro. They tampered with Lacey. They tampered with Princewell. Is what Matt Rhule has done with the program so far meeting your expectations? No. I mean, he barely. I'd say barely. Like, he made a bowl game in year 2. It is what it is. Six wins. It's fine. I will say this. I think his recruiting has went above my expectations. But I don't know how much of his recruiting is because of him or because of Dylan. Because Dylan really gifted us his presence because he's recruiting half of these guys. Like, you know, I'll sit here in these videos and I'll be like, Matt Rhule's doing such a good job. Like, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I don't even know if Matt Rhule's doing a good job. It's just because we got Dylan, and Dylan's peer recruiting all these dudes. Like, that's more important some of the time. So, anyways. RS says, your channel's blowing up. Congratulations. Watching from the Philippines. Hey, RS, I appreciate it, my man. Appreciate your support. Again, all grind, man. We're going to continue to go hard. We're going to continue to pump out daily content with the breaking news. It's been a crazy December, man. Been a crazy couple weeks. I was here. I had finals last week for my college, and I was sitting here studying for finals. I'm getting breaking news, and I'm recording in like my study room in this random classroom at Creighton. So it was fun doing that though. But man, I'm glad I don't have to worry about classes now, and so I can record whenever I want to. But yeah, man, we need offensive linemen. I agree with you, dude. We need depth. That's why we're being aggressive too. We're gonna get 2 or 3. How many walkouts will Nebraska keep? Very few. Very, very few. Like, I would expect almost 0. Because I think we cut almost all the walk-ons already. Just look at the name and ignore the N. That's how you pronounce his name. So we're talking about Williams Wanari. I think you're right. Yes, you are right. It's Wanari. Yes, you're right. It is Williams Wanari. I watched like a Missouri video and that's how they pronounced it. I was trying to lock it down. Won't Nebraska have Nelson, Hoiberg, Markway, and Jeremiah Jones? So they will have Hoiberg, I guess. Jeremiah Jones is going to play wide receiver for Nebraska next year, I found out. Again, we have Carter Nelson who's going to start. You feel good about that. Markway, you feel okay. It's just, the only thing about Markway is that he's constantly injured. Like, my roommate is from the St. Louis area, and he knew about Mac Markway, and I asked him, hey, is he any good? And he said, yeah, he's a really good player, but he gets injured all the time. At LSU, he got injured. In high school, he got injured. At Nebraska, he got injured. So that's the only thing I'm worried about when it comes to Markway. As for Hoiberg, he's not a traditional tight end. I don't even count him as a tight end. He's like I don't know. We need to make his own position. But I don't really consider him. We need another tight end, in my opinion. But again, I'm not like crying if we don't get one. It's just my personal preference. I would like one with high upside. Yeah, we're gonna miss Butler. I'm not gonna miss Williams really that much. Could McGahee possibly start next year? I think he will. I do. At that jack spot, well, it depends if we get AJ Penna, but I do think Willis is going to start. Willis is a stud. People forget how good he is, man. He had a big game versus Wisconsin. He had a big game against Colorado. Nah, he had a really good year, dude. They didn't offer monthly subscriptions for NIL Collective. That I don't know if that would work. I don't know. Do you think we can make the playoffs next year? I don't know. I mean, again, our schedule's easy enough. But no, I don't know. We need Warren Buffett to lock in. I agree with you, dude. I don't know. This guy, Brian says, we are not struggling for money. We are using it wisely. Brian, Nebraska is not using their money wisely. We just started a stadium renovation that's costing like $100 million. We are not using our money wisely. And no, we don't. Again, he says, look up 1890. I know what 1890 is, man. It's our NIL Collective. Brian, we have a top 20. And here's what everybody needs to understand. Is our NIL good? Yes. We can beat out schools like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, all those schools. We can beat them out when it comes to NIL. But who cares? In the transfer portal, we cannot beat out the big dogs. Texas A&M, Texas, Oregon, Bama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson even, Florida State, Miami. Those are the schools that we cannot ever beat out for NIL. Like, don't expect it. Ole Miss, Auburn even. So that's a problem. Like, we're top 20, we're not top 10. And if you think differently, you're wrong. I mean, that's just the truth behind the matter. Our NIL Collective's good, it's not great. Do you want the program to be good or do you want it to be great? There's your answer. Dylan's here because of his dad, not Rhule. I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, I think Dylan would have committed here if any coach was here. If Scott Frost was here, I think Dylan would be here. I'm going to be completely... Actually, no, he wouldn't. Scott Frost burnt that connection with Dylan Raiola. So that's a story for another day. What's your thought on NIL apps? I'm not really too familiar with them, to be honest with you. Not familiar with it. Is Mr. Satterfield gone yet? I don't know if he'll be gone, man. I don't know. Again, that's that whole conversation is something for another day, man. But yeah, I don't think he'll be gone, but he should be gone. He really should be. And I don't have an agenda against Satterfield. Like, some people are like, "Oh, you have this agenda against Satterfield." Like, I don't. I just think Satterfield's a garbage coach, and like he's been a bad coach everywhere he's went, and he was a bad coach at Nebraska, and he was a bad tight ends coach, and the tight ends don't like him. And like, it just, to me, I just don't really get why he's here, besides the fact that he's Matt Rhule's best friend. And obviously there's some things that, other stuff going on there. But I don't know if he'll ever be fired. It is what it is. Maybe if he's terrible as a tight ends coach going forward. He's just a bad coach. He's a bad coach. He's a bad coach, guys. Warren Buffett hates sports. I don't think so, man. He's giving a pretty penny to Crane. Trust me on that one. Well, he got Dylan here, so it's still Rhule. Well, I think Dylan would have came here no matter what, to be honest with you. I say we get 9-10 wins next year, or we lose Dylan next year. Dylan's not going to leave. We could win 0 games next year. I don't think Dylan's going to leave, man. Or we could win 0 games, lose 0 games, whatever. Like, Dylan won't leave. He has too many connections. Starting offensive line next year with World. Off the top of my head, Corcoran, Justin Evans-Jenkins, Gatula, Latufsky, and then World. And then Prohaska on the bench. But we're going to get some more transfers, so it's going to be a lot different than that. If we beat Michigan at the beginning of the season, we get 10 wins. We'll take a look at it. Let me pull it up, guys. Let us look at this schedule for Nebraska here. Let's look at it, because it's an easy schedule. Like, we've talked about the schedule extensively. Okay, Cincinnati at Arrowhead. That's a win. At Arrowhead, Nebraska's going to take over that stadium. That's a win. Akron, win. Houston Christian, win. Cool. 3-0. Michigan, loss. Again, I'm just throwing out stuff. This is just kind of when I'm looking at it. This is what I'm thinking. Loss to Michigan. Michigan State, win. At home, Maryland, win. Minnesota, loss. We always lose to Minnesota. Why would I think differently? Northwestern, win. USC, loss. UCLA, loss. Penn State, loss. Iowa, loss. So that's 6. I just said 6 wins. Now, that's probably super pessimistic, but I'm just kind of just throwing out stuff there. Now, best case scenario, beat Michigan, beat Minnesota, you probably win 10 games and lose to Penn State and maybe Iowa, USC, UCLA, one of those. So probably 6 to 10 next year. That's just me just spitballing like off the top of my head. Obviously, a lot will change from now to when I make my actual predictions in like August of next year. But yeah, that's definitely a story for another day. But yeah, if we beat Michigan, I can see 10 for sure. Is it a guarantee? Is what a guarantee? Is it guaranteed Dylan Raiola staying? Yes. Guaranteed. He announced it. Again, I told you guys since August that Dylan Raiola is not leaving. People have been saying, oh, he's going to leave after this year. It was never going to happen. He's not leaving next year. He loves this program. He has too many connections. It is what it is. Memphis touchdown. Memphis 7-0 versus West Virginia. I picked Memphis in my bowl game pickup. Let's go, baby. Matt Rhule has a losing record as a coach. Next year makes or breaks his career. I agree with you. Next year makes or breaks it with Matt Rhule. Like next year, you got to put wins on the board. Oh, cool. We messed around in year 1. You can do whatever you want. Year 2, you want to win. You got to a bowl game. Cool. Next year has to be the jump. Like 8. I'm looking at 8 wins minimum next year. If we do not get 8 wins, Matt Rhule is on the hot seat. Like, I know that's like, oh my gosh, hot seat. We can't say that. Let's be real. If you have Dylan Raiola, all this talent, in year 3 as a program, and you can't win 8 games with that easy of a schedule, you should be on the hot seat. I don't know. And if you only, I believe if you win less than 6, we know what's going to happen. So hopefully it doesn't come. I don't think that'll happen though. But again, we always have to speculate. What are 3 recruits in 2026 who are muskets for Nebraska? Yeah. Okay. So number 1, Jackson Cantwell. Obviously, that's the number 1 player in the class of 2025. 5-star recruit, offensive tackle. Absolute stud. We need him. Devin Walker is a 4-star running back coming out of, I believe, Missouri. Love that guy. Super fast. Would love a 4-star running back in that class. And then one other guy, Hunter Higgins. I think Hunter Higgins is a really good player. Now, if you ask me, so Hunter Higgins is a 4-star defensive tackle from Kansas. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I thought it's a lock that we get Hunter Higgins. He's committing, I want to say early January. I talked to Hunter Higgins' dad a couple of days ago, and he texted me, and he said, Wilson, if you asked me a couple of days ago, I would have said absolutely Hunter will go to Nebraska. That's his dad telling me this. But then his dad said things have changed, that Hunter's top schools apparently gave him detailed offers. And I don't know really what a detailed offer is. I tried to ask him, and he didn't respond. But these other schools gave him detailed offers. I'd imagine how they're going to use him, this, that, and the third. Nebraska did not. And he said that for that reason, Nebraska is not at the top of his list as of right now. Things could change. So I don't know there with Hunter Higgins. I don't know if anybody can throw some light on what you guys think of detailed offers. I'd imagine it's basically giving light to how they'd use him and all that. But I don't love our odds on Hunter Higgins, but he's committing early January. Wouldn't put my money on that. Haha. He was supposed to finish something attainable this year. I'm not sure you're talking about Corby. Let me know. We need a signature win to get us rolling. I agree with you, dude. I thought Colorado was going to be that signature win this year, and it should have been. Colorado was a darn good team. We played them. We thought they were bad. Colorado was good. Colorado was better than us this year, dog. Way better than us. If we played Colorado at the end of that season, we would have got blown out. I truly believe that. Like, we were lucky we played them when we did. But at the end of the day, that turned out to not be a signature win because we didn't gain momentum from that. As we lost to Illinois, which still haunts me to this day, man. There are no guarantees. I agree with you, dude. I heard Jamarian Parker could be in the mix for us. Yeah, I think he will, but I don't want to lock in a running back, a true freshman running back starting. I just don't love that, but I think he will be in the mix. I don't want to rely on that. If Dylan wasn't here, imagine how bad it would be. If Dylan wasn't here, we'd probably win 4 games this year, and Matt would be gone. I don't know. I try to be optimistic with you guys, but again, imagine if Dylan Raiola wasn't here. We had a transfer quarterback. It would have been a crap show this year. And Dylan wasn't even that good. I don't know. Matt Rhule made a lot of mistakes this year. And he made a lot of mistakes in year 1. I think Matt Rhule's a fine coach, but I've already gave up on him being a national championship winning head coach. Call me a pessimist. I'm not a pessimist, but I'm just going to be real with you guys. There's been nothing that Matt Rhule has shown me in his tenure so far with Nebraska that gives me confidence that he can win a national title here. Or even win a Big Ten title. I think with Matt Rhule, the best case is that we're kind of a solid team. We get by, we win maybe 8-9 games a year. I don't know. Like that's just my real take, and that's not the worst thing in the world. Some Nebraska fans do think that's the worst thing in the world. They're like, oh, only 9 wins, that's terrible. Like for me, that'd be fine. As a Nebraska fan that's went through hell and back throughout my life, but I don't, last time we made a bowl game was when I was in 5th grade, up until now. So it is what it is. That's just my take, though. Feel free to disagree with me in the live chat. Next year should be an up and down year. 2026 should be better. Oh, you're wrong, Damon. Oh, my goodness. Have you looked at that 2026 schedule, my man? Have you looked at that 2026 schedule, my man? You're going to want to look at that schedule, my man. Tennessee, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. I think we have maybe Michigan wrapped in there as well. Iowa, like that's that is a tough year for us, and that should be our playoff year if we're going on the path that we should go on. So they should give us an indoor stadium with these renovations, dude. Indoor stadiums, absolutely not, never ever. I hate indoor stadiums, hate them. I think they just take away the fun of college football, of NFL. Like obviously, indoor stadiums aren't really in college football, but even in the NFL, I hate indoor stadiums in the NFL. Like, give me weather, bro. Give me weather. Give me cold games, hot games. Give me night games. Like, the whole aura of a night game goes away when you have an indoor stadium. I think indoor stadiums are garbage. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they're terrible. That's part of the reason why I hate bowl games, because bowl games take away the college atmosphere, and they're indoor. So it just doesn't feel like football. When you're in a dome, it just doesn't feel like football. I don't know. That's just my take, though. Detailed offer includes NIL numbers. Not necessarily, Roberto. Like, because when I talked to Michael Terry, I talked to Michael Terry about a week before he committed to Texas, and he was talking to me basically about how he had some hold up with the staff at Nebraska, and that turned out to be the case, and he did commit to Nebraska because of some disagreement he had with the staff. He wouldn't tell me what, but I asked him. I said, Michael, is it an NIL thing? And he said, no, I don't. He said he didn't even know what he was getting paid by Texas, but he imagined it was a good number. So usually, a lot of times, these schools aren't like super transparent with their NIL unless you're like a big time recruit, like a quarterback. Like a lot, talking to some of these recruits for Nebraska, they don't know what they're going to get paid. Like Dawson, I guarantee you, he does not know the specific number he's getting paid. But it's more than the other guys for sure, but there's not like a specific number. Dane Key to Georgia. Yeah. There was interest in Nebraska, but when the big dogs get involved, like Ole Miss and Georgia, we can't beat them out. It's just the way it is. We got to win. We got to win, bump up our NIL. That's how you can beat out those schools. I don't think Colorado's better than us. I think Colorado's better than us. And yeah, the Big 12 sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like, they played some garbage teams, but Nebraska played some garbage teams. We played Rutgers, who isn't good. Like Rutgers, we beat them 14-7. We lost to Iowa. We played Wisconsin, who was terrible. Like, let's not act like the schedule we played this year was that good. And Colorado had 3 more wins than us. So, I don't know. I truly think that while Colorado wasn't the perfect team, if we played Colorado that last season or that last week of the year, we would have lost. I mean, I think with us playing them early in the year at home, night game, and the boys were ready to go for that one, it really slanted in our favor. But if we played them the last week of the year, I think we would have lost. That's just my take. Not as a pessimist. I just think Colorado was solid. I think Colorado turned out to be good. I think, again, that's just my take. Like, obviously we beat them when we did, but if we played them later in the year, I think we would have lost. That's just how it is with football. Like the same thing with Iowa. If we played Iowa the first game of the year, we would have beat Iowa 9 times out of 10. But Iowa gets better as the season progresses. So the fact that we always play Iowa the last week of the year hurts us because Iowa always gets better as the year goes. Nebraska does not do that. Nebraska sometimes gets worse as the season goes on. We did get worse. We peaked on that Colorado game. We never got back to that form. The Illinois game gave us nightmares too. Me too, man. I was so mad when we lost to Illinois. I was at that game Friday night. I was hyped up, ranked on. People forget that was a ranked game. We blew it. Matt Rhule can't win close games, man. He can't win close games. We made a bowl game. Yes, sir, man. You're right. We did make a bowl game. I'm excited. I'm excited for this bowl game. I really am, dude. Excited for this bowl. Like Boston College, it's not flashy bowl game, pinstripe bowl, who cares? But we're going to have a really good opportunity to win. We're going to have an opportunity to see young players. Let me know in the comment section, what young player do you want to see the most in the bowl game? Particularly a player that maybe hasn't really played that much. Let me know in the comment section. Which young player or breakout player do you want to see most in the Pinstripe Bowl versus Boston College. So feel free to put that in the comment section. I'll give you my pick. For me, I'm going to personally pick Willis McGahee. Even though he has played and had a good game versus Wisconsin, I think he's going to have a really big opportunity against Boston College to solidify himself as the starter next year. So I'm excited to see Willis McGahee probably the most. I want to see Quinn Ives. I want to see Quinn Ives a lot. Because that's the guy who we're always talking, oh, Quinn Ives going to break out. Quinn Ives going to break out. Where's the breakout? Now he has an opportunity. He's running back too. So let's see Quinn Ives. Those are the two guys I'm watching out for, though. Matt Rhule stealing James Franklin. That's a good comparison. I agree with that. Domes suck. I agree. Let's get to what you guys are saying here. Keona Davis. Yeah, I like to see Keona Davis. Mario Buford. Yeah, man. Mario Buford has some good potential. He's going to be really a player. Another Mario Buford. Dylan. What are we talking about, Dylan? We've already seen Dylan. Ives. Yep. Carr Nelson. Yep. I agree with you. Garrett Nelson. Yep. Oh, what do you mean Garrett Nelson? Garrett Nelson? What do you mean Garrett? Garrett Nelson ain't here no more. Ives. Yeah, I like Ives. Keelan Smith. That's a darn good pick. That's a ball knower pick right there. You know ball. Keelan Smith. It's the best pick out of the bunch. I like that a lot, Rich. Like that. Keelan Smith. I really love Keelan Smith out of high school. He was one of the best players in Missouri. Really liked him. That's a good pick, Rich. You know ball, my man. You know ball. Tom says, your assessment of Rhule not being a national championship coach put Matt Rhule on a class of Tom Osborne. We want to coach Tom. I don't like people compare Tom to Matt Rhule all the time. They're like, oh, but they say the same thing. They're like, Tom Osborne can never win the big game. Matt Rhule couldn't win the big game. Well, it's completely apples to oranges because Tom Osborne inherited a great situation under Bob Devaney where the national championship was the expectation. Matt Rhule inherited a dumpster fire and can barely win 6 games. They're just, it's not a great comparison. My man Nick says Caleb Benning. I would like to see Caleb Benning too, man. That's a good one. It's another good, ball, Nick. Ball. Nick, how was the girls basketball game today? Did we win? Let me know. Creighton girls basketball. They're having a good year. Part of Michael Terra's NIL was a billboard in San Antonio. Yeah, might have been, man. Might have been. He's getting paid well at Texas. He's getting paid more than Nebraska, but that wasn't really a big thing. That wasn't like the main reason. What's your take on the new secondary coach? I think he's fine. He's a good recruiter. That's the thing that I care about the most. People were like, oh, Central Florida's passing defense wasn't that good. Yes, it was. They gave up less than 200 passing yards a game, third in the Big 12, which is a huge passing conference. So they had a really good secondary. He's a good developer. He's a good recruiter. And I feel good about our secondary with John Butler. John Butler's track record speaks for itself when it comes to secondary. Like, I think he's going to be a pretty good secondary coach. My big thing with John Butler, my concern is his blitz concepts. Like, I just don't know if he knows how to get to the quarterback. I don't know. That's my thing. Because blitz concepts are practically the most important thing of defensive coordinators. How can you dial up creative blitzes to free open a man to get to the quarterback unprotected? Okay. Tony White had some problems with that. I don't know. We haven't had a good defensive coordinator in that aspect since the Bo Pelini era. Like, just having like a blitz that successfully works with no, it is what it is. Do you think Penn State is our biggest threat when landing Rivers? I do. I'd say it's either them or Colorado. Colorado's having a lot of success in the portal right now, though, so we'll see. So I think Iowa's play style thrives in bad cold weather. Absolutely, I agree with you. But they also get better throughout the year goes on, just because their defense settles down, their offense finds what works. Like, if you watch Iowa football at those home games, they're playing like Colorado State, first game of the year. They put up like 7 points in the first half. They're getting booed going into halftime. It's like a tradition. Like, they're going into halftime against a bum team tied up, and then they like barely win. It's just Iowa football. Like, they suck at the start of the year, and then they get really good. Your generation of Husker fans are so pessimistic. Well, where would you be if you were like, I'm not a pessimistic fan. Like, anybody who follows me knows I'm not pessimistic. Like, I'm a realist. Like, after a loss, I'll be mad. I'll be pissed off. I'll tell you what went on. But I try to be a realist more than anything. But I agree with you that my generation is pessimistic. But that's what you would expect from a generation that's seen no winning. Like, again, Nebraska hasn't made a bowl game since I was in 5th grade. I'm in college now. I was in elementary school the last time we made a bowl game. Okay. So if you were in our shoes, how would you feel about the program that really hasn't won? Okay. And I'm optimistic. Like, I'm one of the rare ones. Like, I'm genuinely optimistic. But yes, I agree with you. Our generation's pessimistic. That's just because we haven't won football games. And I think, honestly, I think the older generation, not to, throw shots to the older generation, but I think a lot of the older generation, they're too optimistic. Like, they expect 10 wins from Nebraska every year. Like, I was walking out of the Wisconsin game. I'll tell you guys a story. So I was walking out of the Wisconsin game. I went to that game, obviously must win, had to make a bowl game. We won that game. We blew them out. I was pumped. I was leaving the stadium going nuts. I'm like, we made a bowl game. I was feeling myself, man. I'm walking out of the stadium. And there's plenty of 70, 80-year-olds, season ticket holders who I love, right? But they're walking out and they're like business as usual, not even celebrating, like, oh, this is an everyday thing. Like, we haven't made a bowl game in 8 years. Like, to me, that was a huge accomplishment from where this program has been to where it's going. So I think you're correct that my generation at times is pessimistic. But I think at times the older generation is too optimistic because they've seen so much winning where they don't get excited about, these small victories as a program, like making a bowl game. So that's just my take. Obviously, not a shot at the younger generation, not a shot at the older generation. That's just my take on everything. But let me know what you guys think. Do you know who our early enrollees are? I know a couple of them, like Houston Torres, TJ Lateef. I think Jamarian Parker is one. I don't know the entire list just yet. I'll get that to you guys pretty soon when I find out everybody. Why doesn't anybody talk about Ashton Murphy? It's just because Ashton Murphy's got injured. Like, I think he tore his ACL last year. Then this year he just didn't really play. Like, in my opinion, if you're going into year 3 and we haven't really heard your name like at all, you're just not going to break out that many times. So that's why. I think Ashton Murphy's a fine player, though. Quinn Clark, I'm excited to see Quinn Clark. Give it time. Rhule is a leader. We're way too hard on coaches at Nebraska. I agree with you. Again, I'm not saying that Matt Rhule should be fired. I'm not saying that. Hold on. All right. Like, I literally end every single one of my videos with go Matt Rhule. I'm a big Matt Rhule supporter. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, though. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Matt Rhule's win the national championship next year. Like, that's just my take on the program. I think that, Matt Rhule's taken us to be kind of a Kirk Ferentz coach team, which is fine to me, like 8-9 wins a year. That's fine. I know some fans will get mad at that because fans want national championships, but when you're Nebraska and you haven't made a bowl game in 8 years, let's just not focus on national championships right now. Let's just focus on being good. So that's my take. Do you think Nebraska should have went for 2 versus Miami? Which Miami game? Like, what are we talking about when we played them, 2015? I don't know. What Miami game we're talking about. Who do you think is Nebraska's biggest rival? It depends on what generation. Our biggest rival right now is Iowa. Undisputed to Iowa. But some people say Colorado. If you were born in like the 70s, 80s, you'll say Colorado. If you were born before the 70s, you'll probably say Oklahoma. Some people born in the 90s will say K-State, just kind of the way it is. But my generation, born in the 2000s, will say pretty much every time Iowa. Like, I hate Iowa the most. I hate Iowa. Hate Iowa. Our offense going to be much better next year with Coach Dana. I agree with you. Bring Bo back. Bo's never come back, man. I like Bo. I do, but he said before he's never going to come back to Nebraska. And I don't blame him, man. The way we treated him here, we ran him out of town. He was a darn good coach. I would never come back about him either. Has Colorado even paid Deion yet? Oh, I bet they have, bro. They're making money. They're making a lot of money now. Yeah. And Colorado's in a good place. Deion, it's the whole. I think the Deion thing is fascinating, to be honest with you. Like, I had this take in the offseason. Like, I hate Colorado. It is what it is. I like Deion. I really do. Call me whatever you want. I really, really like Deion. I think Deion's a good guy. I think Deion is a good coach. And say what you want about him, but I think Deion is a man of God and good for college football. The fact that he is having success at Colorado, I think that's good for college football. Good for younger generation fans. Say what you want. So I actually like Deion. I really do. Like, I tried to hate him, when we were playing Colorado. I just don't hate Deion. Like, I don't like his sons. I don't like Shador. I don't like Shiloh. But I like Deion. I think he's a good dude. I really do. And I also think Deion's a good coach. I didn't think that initially. Like, if you asked me a couple months ago, I said, nah, Deion's not going to be a good coach. I thought Deion was going to get fired. Turns out I was an idiot. Deion's a darn good coach. Say what you want. Deion won 9 games this year, had one of the best quarterback in college football who won the Golden Arm in Shador, and had a Heisman Trophy winner, Belinda Koff, and Travis Hunter. So anyways, I saw that to say this. Say what you want about Deion, but I like him. I do. I think he's a man of God. I think he's a good coach. I think he's turned around a program that had a lot of, they had some really, really tough stuff. So I don't know. I like Deion though. I really do. Again, you guys can think whatever you want. Try to put the, the rival stuff. Some people just hate Deion because he's at Colorado. You guys are blinded too much. People were hating on Travis Hunter. They're like, Travis Hunter should have won Heisman. I thought Ashton Jeanty should have won Heisman. I'll be completely honest with you. I liked Ashton Jeanty. But at the exact same time, I thought Travis Hunter was a very deserving Heisman winner. Travis Hunter is a generational talent who plays both sides of the football, who won the Belinda Koff, was top 5 in receiving yards. So, anyways, I say all that to say this. I think Deion's a good coach. And the whole Colorado thing's been interesting to follow, to say the least. So I think a lot of times people just hate on Deion because he's at Colorado. Would you hate on Deion if he was at somewhere else? Probably wouldn't. And Deion inherited a worse situation than what was at Nebraska. He inherited a team that won 1 game. Look how good they are now. Not saying it's sustainable, but anyways, that's my rant. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sure I'm going to get some disagreements on there, but just try to take the Colorado aspect out of it. If he wasn't coach for Colorado, how'd you feel about Deion? You probably wouldn't hate him as much. How about our men's basketball team? They're okay, man. They're all right. They beat Indiana the other day. That was a big win. I don't want to get too hyped up about this our Nebraska ball, just because I know how they are. They're just decent. They're fine for a tournament. My take on Nebraska ball is what they're doing is not sustainable. I think Hoiberg is a decent coach, but one thing that I don't like about Hoiberg is he can't recruit. He can't recruit. He got one recruit in this year's class, 2 recruits in last year's class. He never brings in 4 stars. Everybody who's on Nebraska's roster right now who's getting playing time is a transfer. That's a problem in college basketball. You need to have a decent recruiting class. So the fact that he is so horrific at recruiting, I just don't know if it's sustainable. But they're having a good year this year. Are we really going to shell a mill for World out of Nevada? We might, man. I don't know. I agree with you that NIL needs checks and balances, but I don't think it's too crazy. $1 million, I know that sounds a lot, but compared to the contracts you're getting in the pros, it's really not as much as we make it out to be. Now, if we start talking about $5 million, then that gets a little out of control. What position does Roger Gradney play? He plays corner / nickel / safety. He tore his ACL in the spring game, so he'll be ready to go for spring ball, I'd imagine, but. I'm not incredibly high on Roger Gradney. I like a couple guys more. I like Amari Sanders more. I like Larry Tarver more. I like Mario more. I like Caleb Benning more. But we'll see if Roger can play. I don't know. I'm not crazy about him. He's okay. He's a good tackler, good solid player. Sorry, late to the stream. Who are your biggest targets in the portal for Nebraska? Eric Rivers and Isaiah Hunter, Isaiah World, AJ Penna, Andrew Marshall, Adrian Maddox. Those are my guys. What do you think of Army Marshall opt out of the bowl game and they put Louisiana Tech in? That sucked, man. That's just the way it is with the portal. But I will say this: Marshall screwed up big time because they won the Sun Belt, or it might have been Conference USA, and they didn't re-up the contract with their head coach because they couldn't they didn't want to pay him as much money as he deserved. So he left, obviously, and went over to Louisiana or Southern Miss, and then everybody left with him just because the university screwed him over. That was the entire reason. Okay, let's get to these Deion comments. Deion is a player's coach. Most guys who play for him love him. I agree with you. I agree. Deion makes stuff up for drama too much. I don't think so, but I do think Deion plays into it. Deion absolutely, I think Deion, one thing I don't like about him that much, he holds grudges. He's a little petty. He's a little petty. That's okay. He's a little petty. Deion is a fraud. He isn't a coach. He's a hype man. Well, you can call him whatever you want. He won 9 games this year. He had the best quarterback in college football, and his son won the Heisman. So, or his not son, but his player won the Heisman. So say what you want about him, but he turned out to be pretty good this year. I don't know. Will Nebraska have an offensive line in 2025 that can protect Dylan Raiola? I think we will, but you got to get 2 or 3 high-quality transfers who can come in here and start immediately. If you guys say a world on that left tackle spot, that'd be huge. That's a good start, man. That's a good start. for the 1984 Orange Bowl, man. Nah, dude, I don't know about the 1894 Orange Bowl. I only know about the 1962 Gotham Bowl. Talk to me about that 1962 Gotham Bowl. I know everything about that one. New York City, big time game versus Miami. Whooped them. Nah, I wouldn't know, man. I wouldn't know. That's before my time. What do you think about Bill Belichick? I think it's going to be a big failure. Big failure. I don't see a world where that works out with Bill Belichick at UNC. He just doesn't know how to recruit. You need to recruit in college football. That's literally half your job. Half your job is to recruit. I think, but what's interesting is they only gave him a 3-year contract. What I imagine the whole game plan is from a North Carolina standpoint is they hired Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick said, hey, I'm only going to be here for 2-3 years. I'm going to turn you guys into a winner, and I'm going to turn the program over to a coach who's going to take you from there. That's what I imagine what's going to be. So, Deion is better than Rhule, in my opinion. I don't know, but I will say this. I think Deion's a good coach. That's just it. Oh, no, we can't be going at each other in the comment section, guys. What are we doing here? I wanted Deion on Nebraska. I was on that wagon. I was kind of too. Like, I was like thinking about it. I thought it would be funny, honestly. Like, I wasn't like pushing for it, but I was open to it. Personally, I was open to it. Hey, I'll tell you this. If Deion was at Nebraska this year, we probably would have won 9 games. If Deion was at Nebraska this year, we would have had Travis Hunter, who would have won the Heisman. That would have been fun to watch. Hey, whatever. It didn't happen, and we would have never done it. What do you think what happens with Satterfield and or Foley end of the year? Well, Foley's coming back, and I'll post that video tomorrow, actually. Marcus Satterfield will probably be back, so sucks. How much are we paying Raiola? We bumped up his NIL. He initially was getting paid 1.7 over like a 4-year span, which is not enough. I think we bumped it up though, but we had trouble paying him. Like that was the thing. I think it was 1.7 over 4 years, and we've had trouble paying him. That should tell you what you need to know about our NIL collective. Players should be able to transfer once. I agree with you. I think the perfect scenario is one-time transfer, and then you can transfer unlimited times once you're a graduate. That's what I think. Like Dante Dowdell transferring twice without graduating, I think is dumb. I don't think they should allow that. Unless there's like some crazy situation like the coach leaves or something, or like a medical situation. That's like the only thing there. He is the best quarterback in college football. Didn't realize Gabriel played for... Bro. Gabriel was not better than Shedeur. Let's be real. And he didn't win the Golden Arm for that reason. Shedeur won the Golden Arm. Like, I'm not a big Shedeur guy. I think Shedeur is going to be a bust. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Shedeur will be a bust in the NFL. But Shedeur is better this year. The thing is that Gabriel played for Oregon, and Oregon as the best team, so it is what it is. That's why he's good. But we played Gabriel. Yeah, we played Gabriel in I want to say 2022. Or did we play Gabriel in 2022? Was that him? I think it was. But we played Dylan Gabriel, and he was not that good. Not that good. I want to say, was that Dylan Gabriel, Nebraska, Oklahoma 2022? I got to look this up now because it's going to make me mad. I can't remember. I mean, obviously, Oklahoma blew us out in that ball. It was Dylan Gabriel. So we played Dylan Gabriel before. We know how good he is. I just don't think he's better. He was not the best player in college football. He got an invite to the Heisman just because his team is good. Usually with the way the Heisman goes, the fourth guy that's invited is usually the quarterback on the best team in the country. Like Mac Jones got an invite. Trevor Lawrence got an invite. Tua got an invite. So I think it was Rattler. No, it was, I just looked it up. It was Dylan Gabriel. Rattler was off to South Carolina at that point. Rattler started for them in 2021. You're thinking of that 21 game. Rhule is sustainable. At least Deion would ditch us by now. I don't know if Deion would. I don't think Deion would ditch us. If he's not ditching Colorado, he wouldn't ditch Nebraska. So that's out of there. I did think Deion was going to ditch Colorado though, but he hasn't. So I was wrong. I was wrong about a lot of things when it comes to Deion. Like I was a Deion hater just like the rest of y'all. But I woke up. I didn't let my Colorado hatred blind me from his success. Like he's a good coach, man. Is he a national championship winning coach? No. I don't think they're going to be better than what they were this year, next year, but he's doing something right. If you can win 9 games, you're doing something right. Hoiberg's trash. Why are fans obsessed with seeing him play? Because he's a Nebraska guy. Like it is what it is, right? When you're from Nebraska, there's a certain level of passion in these guys. Like, There's plenty of, like, Carter Nelson's a big fan favorite for that reason. So usually we stick together. We love our guys who come with us in Nebraska. Sure, top 5 pick might go 1 before Hunter. I don't think he should go. Obviously there's going to be teams that value quarterbacks more. I think Cameron Ward is going to go number 1, Shedeur will go number 2, Travis will go number 3. That's what I think. But Travis is the best player in the draft. Like, Travis should go 1, but it's just because teams want quarterbacks. But it'll be interesting to see what position Travis plays in the league. I don't know what he'll play. That's like UCLA fans saying, we played Raiola, he wasn't good in a few years. Yeah, I agree, Dylan Gabriel wasn't as good in 2022 as what he was in 2024. But if you watch Oregon football, Gabriel wasn't the best player on that offense. He's not fueling that offense, right? When you watch LSU in 2019, who was the best player on the offense? It was Joe Burrow, right? When you watch Alabama, or actually that's not a great example, but usually when you have a Heisman candidate quarterback, the best player on the offense is the quarterback. Dylan Gabriel's not the best player on that Oregon offense. He's not even like top 3. So, hey, what's good? How likely do you think it is that we land Isaiah World? 40%, maybe less. I think it's really down to us in Oregon. I don't think Texas A&M will land him. I think it's us in Oregon. So our NIL collective is struggling? No, it's not struggling. It just depends on what you expect it to be. Do you expect it to be a top 5 NIL collective? Then yes, it is struggling. If you expect it to be top 20, we're already top 20, so it's not struggling. That's my take. Like, it's good, not great. It can beat out mid-tier Power 4 schools. It can't beat out the top tiers like the Ohio States of the world, the Alabama's of the world. The biggest recruiting tool Colorado has is weed. Bro, no, that is not. Trust me when I say this. Whatever college you go to, you can get weed. Okay, like, trust me. There are plenty of Nebraska players, and I know this for a fact, that when they're, doing whatever they do outside of the practice facility, they're line one up. Trust me on that one. There have been plenty in the past. Cough, cough, JD Spielman. Cough, cough, JD Spielman. So, that's not the reason why people are committed to Colorado. What do you think about Nebraska volleyball team? It's their year, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see them play Penn State on Thursday. I was hoping they'd play Creighton. My Creighton Blue Jays, that would have been a good matchup with Nebraska. But no, it's Nebraska volleyball's year. Like, they're stacked, man. Like, I need them to win this year because Lexi Rodriguez, dude, like, Lexi Rodriguez will go down as a top 10 Nebraska volleyball player. Like, she needs her jersey like hanged up in the rafters. Like, one of the best liberos in Nebraska history. I hope they win it for her. Obviously, Merritt was good. I think Nebraska volleyball win the Natty this year. But the Penn State's going to be a hard game. Pitt's going to be a hard game. Pitt's a real good team. Real good. They're better than us, at least on the rankings. But I think Nebraska's a team of destiny this year. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to go. So let me know if you guys are following that Nebraska volleyball team. I'll watch those games. But I think they're a team of destiny. I think they're going to win on Thursday and on Sunday. Are you surprised with Caleb Williams? Seems soft in college. I am. Like, he's struggling right now in the NFL. Now, is he a bust? Probably not. But he's not the superstar we anticipated. So yeah, that's my take on it. Matt says, "Boo Chase curse." Matt, if you went to Creighton, you'd probably feel differently, man. Like, I gotta be a J-Scar. I go to Creighton, man. Now, if Nebraska played Creighton in volleyball, who would I root for? I don't know. I'll just say this: I rooted for Nebraska basketball when they played Creighton. I went to that game as a Creighton student. So, feel whatever way you want about J-Scars, but I root for both teams. I don't care. I don't care what y'all think. It's a fake rivalry. That's my take. Deion's doing fine, but the Big 12 is really no better than a mid-major now. I agree with you, but it's getting better. Like, Texas Tech's going to be a good team next year. Utah's going to be a good team. So they're not going to be as bad as they were this year. There's going to be a team that rises up. That's just the way it works. Gabriel did play for Oklahoma in 2022. That was a terrible game. I was at that game when we played Colorado in 2022, or Oklahoma in 2022. We started off, it was 7-0. It's Mickey Joseph's first game, interim head coach. We go down there, first drive, score a touchdown. Everyone's getting hyped up. And then Oklahoma proceeds to kick the crap out of us. We got blown out. Surprised with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is overrated, in my opinion, man. He threw like 3 picks this week. I'm a Commanders fan. I'm a Commanders fan, so I'm on the Jaden Daniels train. Jaden Daniels clears every single rookie except for Brock Bowers. That's my take on the NFL, man. Caleb Williams is good. Nah, bro. Caleb Williams cannot go through his progressions. Like, I don't know. He can't see the field at an NFL level. Same reason that Dylan Raiola struggled this year. Dylan Raiola cannot see the field at a Power 5 level. Same thing with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can't see the field at an NFL level. He can't see the speed of the game. So, Rhule leaves or is fired. Who's your pick for next head coach? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that, man. I don't know, bro. There's just not a good answer. There's no good answer for that. I couldn't tell you. I'll give you one pick. Charles Huff. Charles Huff is the only one I'd be interested in. Or that's Southern Miss's new coach. No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just spitballing a random name though. I don't actually know who I'd want. But I don't. There's no reason to even talk about it. Scott Frost and Alex Grinch. What was Scott Frost doing with that hire? He hired Alex Grinch to be to be UCF's next defensive coordinator. Alex Grinch is absolutely garbage. He was USC's last DC. Like, you know why? You guys want to know why Scott Frost hired Alex Grinch? Because when Central Florida fails, then he has a scapegoat that he's going to be like, oh, it's because Alex Grinch was terrible. And he fires Alex Grinch. He learned from Nebraska. You always see the scapegoat. So, yeah, I respect it. West Virginia scored 17-7. I need Memphis to win. How do you think Michael Penix does down the stretch for Atlanta? I think he'll be okay. I hope they don't beat Washington. I hope they don't beat my Commanders in a week. But I'm excited to see him play, man. He deserved to play. Shador will be a bust like Caleb. I agree with you. I think Shador's going to be a bust because I think Shador is literally stupid. Like, you guys ever hear the way Shador talks? Like, he just sounds like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but he just talks slow. I don't know. I don't like when it comes to Shador reading an NFL offense, I just don't know if that's going to work. But I will say, I think Deion's a good coach. And I think Deion's going to get him ready to go for that NFL level. But I think Shador will be a bust, yeah. I'm interested to see how Cameron Ward does in the NFL. I don't know if Cameron Ward's going to be bust or not. It's a weird quarterback draft class. Frank Stoll is still alive? He is. He is still alive, yep. I remember back when we hired Scott Frost, Grinch was a hot name. Yeah, bro, he's the opposite of a hot name right now. He should be out of coaching. He's terrible. Urban Meyer, no. Urban Meyer's washed. We do not want Urban Meyer ever. Ever. Literally ever. Do you think the SEC is considerably better than the Big Ten? I think the Big Ten's better. I'm a Big Ten homer, man. I do think the Big Ten's better. I don't know. I'm still sad about Michael Terry. I am too. But I have this weird feeling, just through my conversations with Michael Terry, I have a weird feeling he's going to end up in Nebraska. Feel free to clip that and come back to me next December. I just have a weird feeling that Michael Terry end up at Nebraska. Not next year, the year after that. I don't know. You mean like Travis Hunter's acceptance speech? Travis Hunter's a smart guy. Like, no, Shador might be a little slow. Don't rag my man Travis. Travis is a smart brother. Like, that dude, he had a 4.0 GPA like all of his years of college. Travis is smart. He's actually a pretty talented individual. But I didn't watch that acceptance speech. But he was probably pretty excited. I actually like Travis. I think he's a good dude. I honestly do. Like, one of my good friends, who I met through YouTube, his name's Julian. I had him on the channel a couple times. He goes to Colorado, and he works for the Colorado football team. And he got to know Travis, and he said Travis is a great, great dude. Great athlete, great student. So I like Travis. I'll support Travis. Michael Terry played us, and that's not what happened. Michael Terry was really interested in us, but he had to hang up with the staff. That's all I'll tell you on that one. Is it just me, or is our secondary next year looking even worse than this year's? It's looking bad now, but we'll get some transfers there. Like, we'll feel some sort of way. And I also think we have a lot of young players in the secondary. 1 year of development is going to be huge for guys like Amari Sanders, Larry Tarver, Mario Buford, Caleb Benning. You know, like, I think we're gonna have a good secondary next year. I really do. Travis will be a fringe top 10 corner. He looks like a stick out there. I don't know. I don't know if he'll play corner in the NFL. We'll see. He might play receiver. See, because I actually think his upside's better at corner, but you should remember that wide receivers get paid a lot more in the NFL. So if he picked corner, he's basically saying, I'm going to make a lot less money. So I think he's going to try to play both positions. What do you think of Michigan's new quarterback? Yeah, Bryce Underwood. He will play against Nebraska next year. That guy's a number one. It'll be Dylan Raiola, number one quarterback in the class of 2024, versus Bryce Underwood, number one quarterback in the class of 2025. That'll be a fun matchup, man. He's good, man. He's good, but it'll be interesting to see how he develops right away. It's just tough rolling out true freshmen there, especially at Michigan. Like, I just don't know if Michigan's the place where five-star quarterbacks go and thrive. You know, like, obviously J.J. McCarthy had a pretty decent Michigan career, but he was never like a phenomenal. He was never a phenomenal. I should say he was never a phenomenal quarterback. Like, they didn't win the national championship because of his arm. So, yeah. Colby says it's feeling like we've been hearing you don't hire Matt Rhule to win in 1 year or two, so it's time to put up or shut up. I agree with you, dude. We need to be in the playoff conversation next year. We need to win 9 games. Matt Harms, speaking of volleyball, my sister-in-law is the head coach at Louisville. Are you joking? Your sister-in-law is Danny Busboom. Tell me you're joking. That's a pretty fun fact right there, Matt. That's pretty cool, dude. Danny Busboom is your sister-in-law. We got a little bit of an inside scoop here. Hey, Matt, text Danny Busboom and ask her if she's interested in taking the Nebraska job when John Cook's gone. Maybe enlighten us. I'm sure you have an inside scoop on this. Please. Will she come back and coach us when John Cook is gone? Give us an inside scoop right now. That is a cool fact, Matt. That your sister-in-law is Danny Busboom. That is pretty darn cool. That's a cool fun fact, man. Who are the wide receivers we still have other than Barney? Well, we have Jacory Barney, we have Jalen Lloyd, we have Quinn Clark, Card Nelson technically is a tight end now. Like, we have some decent receivers, Shaniron Bonner. Demetrius Bell. I'm high on Demetrius Bell. I am a Demetrius Bell truther. I think Demetrius Bell is going to be potentially a starter next year. So Travis will be a bust in the NFL. He's too injury prone. He played this entire year without being injured. I think he'll be fine. How do you feel about Jeremiah Charles? I think he's okay. He's an athletic freak, but I don't know. He's super fast, but I think he's a very raw corner, and he got benched at corner. Like, we were trying to play him at the end of the season, and they were like, "No, we're gonna put him Blyhill." And the Blyhill was garbage. So, I don't know. I prefer Larry Tarver. I prefer Amari Sanders. Like, those are the guys I like more, to be honest with you. Will Chiefs three-peats? I hope not, man. I'm not. I know that a lot of Nebraska fans are also Chiefs fans, but personally, I don't really like the Chiefs just because everybody I know is a Chiefs fan and they're gloating all the time how good they are. And I'm a lowly Commanders / Redskins fan, you know, my whole life. I'll tell you guys a fun fact. So obviously I'm a Nebraska fan. Nebraska sucks. Nebraska sucked my entire life. I'm also a Redskins / Commanders fan. In my entire lifetime, I have never seen the Redskins / Commanders win a playoff game. Can you imagine that? I've never seen us win a playoff game. We've made the playoffs like once or twice in my lifetime. We've never won one in my 18 years of living. So I have a pretty poor existence of a football fandom. I wanted to go into that Penn State game into November with a playoff appearance on the line. I hope so too, man. But if it's on the line, I don't think we're going to win, dude. We don't really win too many games with stuff on the line. Demetrius Bell, yeah, man. I'm a big Demetrius Bell guy. Doesn't she have a clause in her contract that Danny can leave if the Nebraska job comes available? That was like a rumor a while ago. I don't know, but I don't know if Nebraska would hire her, to be honest with you. Like, obviously Danny Busboom's a stud, really really good coach. Jalen Reyes is a guy who I really like, who's our current assistant for Nebraska volleyball. He's a good recruiter. He's the guy who's bringing all the good recruits. So I kind of want Jalen Reyes, but I don't know. We'll see if Danny Busboom's our next coach, though. Dude, he left. Matt literally dropped that nugget on us that Danny Busboom's his sister-in-law, and then he just left right when we're trying to get intel. Matt, you're good for nothing. No, I'm kidding. Ross says, you may have covered this, but what's your take on Tommy Hill declaring for the draft? Yeah, I haven't talked about this. Not shocked. I shouldn't say shocked at all. He was going to enter the draft. He had no years of eligibility left. He'll be fine. I think he'll be a 4th round pick. He dealt with so many injuries. He dealt with so many injuries. So I don't know. I don't know when it comes to Tommy Hill, but I think he's a good corner. Had so many tough injuries. That foot injury was brutal, man. Christy Lynch from Iowa State, Nebraska alum. Iowa State is not good at volleyball, so let's not do that. Danny Busboom's a Nebraska alum, so that's why we're going to get her. Are you going to do other sports during the offseason like Adam Carricker? I don't know. I might. Like Nebraska ball. I tried Nebraska ball content last year and it didn't work. It was okay. Like I didn't get too many views on it. A lot of my subscribers are only like Nebraska football guys, and I understand that. If Nebraska basketball is successful and makes a run to the tournament, I'll absolutely do Nebraska basketball content. As for Nebraska volleyball, I think I'll do, if they win the national championship, I'll do a video about Nebraska volleyball winning the Natty. I think I will. I tweeted this out. Like, I watch Nebraska volleyball. I'm pretty knowledgeable about the team. I'm pretty knowledgeable about the players. I wouldn't say I'm super knowledgeable about the philosophies about volleyball, but I tweeted this out the other day. I said, if there's because there's so many Nebraska podcasts, you know what I mean? There's so many Nebraska podcasts. There's hundreds of Nebraska podcasts and YouTube channels. And I would know, I was in that group. I was struggling to break out for so long. You know, I'm thankful that I'm one of the biggest Nebraska fans on the internet right now, obviously. And that's thanks to you guys. But I can say this from being at the bottom of Nebraska content creation circle and the top. It is super hard to break out because nobody has any creativity. Nobody has creativity. If there was somebody who was interested in Nebraska athletics and started a podcast or a YouTube channel about specifically Nebraska volleyball, I am telling you it would blow up. Literally would blow up because Nebraska volleyball has a huge presence. I would cover it, but I don't think my subscribers would be too interested in it. And I just don't really know enough about volleyball. I know about Nebraska. I know about our team, but like I couldn't tell you about like all the philosophies about volleyball. I don't know. That's just me. I'm sure a lot of, I don't know if Adam could either, to be honest with you, but I will make a video if we win the Natty. Or maybe if we beat Penn State on Thursday too, I might do it. Anyways, that's my answer. But I will do Nebraska ball content. And I'm hoping Nebraska baseball makes a run to the College World Series sometime soon, man. Because I do enjoy college baseball a lot, especially down the stretch when we get into regionals. But yeah. Anyways, but let me know if you guys like want certain content ideas, because like I'm telling you, like it's easy to make content right now. When we get to February and March, that is tough. Like I've been making daily content for about a year now. When we get to February, March, it is tough because nothing happens. There's no news, there's no recruiting, there's no practice. So I need video ideas, man. Like if y'all feel free to text me or to email me, to let me know on social media. Put it in the comment section right now if you got stuff. Like, I will definitely consider it, man. Where did Nebraska go wrong in the last 20 years? Firing Bo. Firing Solich, too. Both of them, though. Will we pick up enough defense in the transfer portal to allow us to win? I think so, for sure. We're prioritizing defense in the portal more than we are offense. The best Nebraska game I've seen in my lifetime was 2015 Michigan State, and we didn't even deserve that one. Fun fact, Colby, I was rewatching that game last night. I was like bored. It was like midnight. I was like, I'll turn on Nebraska, Michigan State 2015. That was a good game. Ohio State obviously was a good game in 2011 when we came back. Iowa, always have good memories to Iowa 2022, Colorado this year. That was really about it. Like we really don't have too many good wins. Yeah, we don't have many good wins. But yeah. Iowa 2014 was a good win as well. And Northwestern. I was at that Northwestern 2013 game. Like I'll always have good memories of that one. Vlogging stuff at games would be cool. Don't know if I see that a lot. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that this year, Mike. I was on the fence about doing like a vlog about like going to the Colorado game. And I was like, I don't know if that'd be entertaining. I've never really done a vlog before. I might do it next year, but I don't really know if I have the equipment either. Like I have to get like a GoPro. Like I wouldn't do it on my phone, but I might consider doing like a vlog at games next year. That might be fun. Bill Callahan, then later on Mike Riley. Yeah, hiring Mike Riley ruined everything. I-Course was the downfall of Nebraska football. If we can boil it down to one person. That's not something you lie about or make up. She's my sister-in-law. We believe you. I believe you, Matt. I believe that Danny Busboom is your sister-in-law, but I want you to give the inside scoop. That's what I want, my brother. Like that's cool. That's cool that you got that obviously you got that connection, but I want you to give us that scoop. Like, is she coming to Nebraska or is she not, man? Like, what are we doing here? It's all good, Matt. I'm just playing with you, dude. That's cool though. That's really cool. Hey, man, Matt, contact me if John Cook retires after this national championship in about 4 days. Hit up my phone, hit up my email, whatever. We'll get in contact, and I need you to give me the inside scoop on Danny Busman because I need to break that news, man. I'm gonna break that news. College football 25. Maybe I play a lot of college football 25. I don't know what kind of content I make, and I don't know if people watch it, so maybe I might do live streams of college football 25 just for fun. If anybody was on that college football 25, I live streamed video games the first day college football dropped, and that was in July. And I was so bad. If you guys were watching that, let me know. That was just a terrible live stream because I was like throwing picks left and right, dude. I don't know. Oregon 2016. Oregon was a good one. Yeah, that was a good game. There's not much, dude. There's not many great victories for Nebraska. Yeah, there's not much. Wilson, first time checking out live. Appreciate you, my man. Will you interview players? We'll see. I mean, I don't know like a whole bunch of players. Like I know a couple. Like obviously I know Emmett, and I talked to a couple of the freshmen who are coming in, like Dawson, obviously. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not like crazy about that. Like this isn't like a big interview channel, at least not for players. I have interviewed recruits in the past, and we'll continue to do that. I want to have that bigger staple. I don't really know, like personally, and I don't know if you guys watch player interviews. Like I don't really watch player interviews. I don't watch player press conferences that much unless I want like intel. I don't know. Like I know Adam Carricker hosts a lot of players on his show every now and then. They, ask some questions. Like there's just not too much intel that people get from player interviews, in my opinion. I don't know. I think because they're media trained and they won't tell you guys like too much. They won't tell you like the depth chart or like some inside scoop. Now I do think it's interesting. Listening to past players on like podcasts. Like Jordan Westerkamp was on a podcast once, and that was like super interesting because Jordan Westerkamp like went in detail about all these like crazy stuff that happened in the locker room that he couldn't talk about. Anyways, I don't know if we'll do player interviews, but I'll keep that on my radar. Is John going to retire soon? Well, I mean, he's getting up there in age. He might. I don't know. Mike Riley brought softness. I agree. I think Mike Riley's culture is just really bad. Like he was soft and he had no culture. He didn't have any rules. Like anybody could do whatever they wanted, and he didn't punish anybody. It was just garbage. There's no discipline. Eichhorst are the worst. Yep. Who is winning the college football playoff? I got Texas. Hot take. I got Texas. I think they're going to figure it out. Like they only have 2 losses, both of them to Georgia. I think Georgia's going to falter early, and I think Texas wins it all. I try to do realistic 25 rebuilds for Nebraska, and Dylan Raiola always transfers due to bad pro potential. Dude, pro potential is broken in college football 25. Like, you'll have 1 year where you, like, have no upperclassmen and nobody will, go to the draft, and then your pro potential will go from an A to, like, a D-, and you'll lose all these recruits. It's that they need to fix that next year's game. I like the college football 25 idea. Yeah, we might do it. I don't know. I was watching that live stream. Yeah, dude, that was crazy, dude. Iowa 2020 or 2014 Pearson-L masterpiece. Yeah, dude. That was a great game, man. DeMornay had a great game. Kenny Bell with that touchdown catch in overtime right by the pylon. Man. Yeah. You should play to subscribers. Maybe, man. Maybe. What do you think of Adam Carricker and other Nebraska YouTubers? They're fine. They make good content, man. I support all of them. I'm subscribed to all of them. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I don't watch a lot of Nebraska YouTube. Like, I don't know, because I basically already know everything that's going on. I'll tune into some of these other YouTubers and see what's going on. But yeah, I think everybody's fine. But I like Adam Carricker. I'll watch Adam Carricker videos every now and then. Like I think he has some good intel from time to time. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. Like I just don't watch too much Nebraska YouTube. Yeah, because I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the stuff that I cover pretty much covers the stuff I know, and I don't know. But I'll watch Adam Carricker. Yeah, I'd say, and then obviously I watch my man Justin Adams there, the Nebraska Voice of College Football. Always gotta shout him out. He's a good dude. Those are the ones. I watch Carricker. I watch Justin Adams. Like there's just not too many big Nebraska YouTubers. Like it's weird. I can call myself a big Nebraska YouTuber at this point. Like it's crazy how much we grew this year. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, and I try to tell people this. Like, there are so many Nebraska YouTubers out there, so many Nebraska content creators. Here's the one thing if you want to be big in Nebraska YouTube or big on Nebraska podcast, whatever you want to do, Nebraska beat report, whatever, grind. You have two things: grind, do it consistently, and two, find a niche. Okay. When I got into Nebraska YouTube, I was just kind of doing it for fun. I wasn't posting every now and then. And then last December, a year ago, I just said, I'm going to do it every day and see what happens. And I blew up. And people loved it. And I found a niche. Nobody on YouTube, for whatever reason, follows Nebraska recruiting. I was the only Nebraska YouTuber doing consistent Nebraska recruiting content. And look what happened. We're at 9,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 10,000. So anyways, that's my whole thing. Like if you, I know I talk to a lot of people because there's so many Nebraska podcasts and nobody listens to them. Like let's be frank. There's so many Nebraska podcasts that nobody listens to. If you want to be consistent and you want to have success, just find a niche. And obviously I found my niche, find something different, and be consistent. Be consistent. Like if you want to make a Nebraska podcast, you just talk about, I don't know, Nebraska schedule next year and whatever. Like, you're just not going to be successful. You got to find something that people are interested in that they're not getting somewhere else. And I think that's why we've had success on this channel, and along with the consistency. But again, I'm so grateful for every single one of you guys. Like, I couldn't do this without you guys' support, you know. But I remember when I started on Nebraska YouTube, and I remember when I started Nebraska YouTube, and everyone was like, who's this kid? This kid knows nothing. And now I've gained the respect of everybody. Like, I don't really get mean comments anymore. But people were like, who's this kid? How am I expected to think this kid knows more than me? But I grinded and I gained the respect of people, and that's just kind of how it works. But to anything in life, I found this in literally everything in life. Like, I'm a guy who, you know, I'm very successful in the classroom. Great ACT score, great high school GPA, full ride scholarship to college. The only way I did that was because I put my mind toward it and I grinded toward it. And I said, this is my goal. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do it. And I did it. So much so in life, you just got to put your head toward it. You got to completely commit yourself, find ways to do it, be creative. It's not going to work the first time. But that's just my mindset with almost anything in life, guys. Like, if you want to succeed in anything, you just got to put your head to it. You got to commit to something. Too many people don't fully commit to something. They might commit to it 30%, 50%. Got to go all in, man. Anyways, that's my Nebraska motivation. That's my motivation right there. I'm not going to be a motivation YouTuber, but that's what I'm thinking. What are you majoring in? What do you want to be in 5 years? Yeah, I'm majoring in finance and accounting at Creighton University. I'm not sure what I want to be in 5 years. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. I mean, obviously my dad, I look up to my dad a lot. I've always looked up to my dad. And he was a lawyer, and all my life I'm like, I want to be a lawyer too. So there's obviously thoughts of me going to law school. I'm not crazy into finance. I'm really, like, I'm a math nerd, so I don't know what I want to be in 5 years. But I always like broadcasting. Like, if I wasn't going to Creighton, I would have went to Lincoln. I would have went for sports broadcasting. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be 5 years. I got 5 years to figure it out. Raiola is going to make a big leap this year under Holgerson. I believe that. I agree with you, man. I think so too. I think Rhyle's gonna be a lot better. What do you think of Husker Online? I watch Husker Online a lot. Yeah, that's probably the one I watch them. I listen to their podcast with Sipple and Callahan and in Washington. I like that podcast. I really do. They have some fun nuggets from time to time. Like, I genuinely enjoy Husker Online a lot. It's insane how many Nebraska YouTube channels there are. You are the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, man. And just effort, man. It's just a lot of hard work, but I appreciate that so much. That's really kind. Rich says, don't you get overwhelmed keeping up with videos? You have no idea. This is all I think about, man. I only think about, it's like a job for me, man. Like, I just think about the YouTube channel, what tomorrow's content's going to be, the day after that, right? But yeah, it is sometimes overwhelming. It's a job. Same way you approach your job, I think about this job. It's a job, you know. But it's a fun job, I'll tell you that. How do you do your graphics? I have Canvas Premium or Canva Premium. It's a graphic design website. 10K subs by New Year's. That's my goal, man. That is my goal. I was thinking about that when I hit 9K today. I was like, we need to hit 10K by New Year's. We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and you better believe I'm going to be grinding for that, baby. Like, we're talking 2-3 videos a day, man. Where else on YouTube are we getting 2-3 videos a day? I don't know. Yeah, we're going to be grinding, man. Absolutely. We're going to put in the work for 10K. That's the big one. 10K is the big one. Like, I was shooting for 5K all summer. Now we're getting to 10K. That's the big one. You should do sports broadcasting too. Yeah, again, I already had a huge sports broadcasting history. Like I did sports broadcasting in high school, won a lot of awards for it. I broadcasted the state championships for football, for basketball inside Memorial Stadium, PBA. So I have a huge, extensive sports broadcasting history, and I truly believe that was my passion, and I was going to do that in Nebraska. But obviously, life called me somewhere else, and I took it. So. But I do believe that broadcasting, I still want that to be an option for me. I really do, because I'm very passionate about it. I love sports, obviously. I have this channel, so I don't know. But I still have a lot of options. Are there Nebraska podcasts you listen to, your recruiting content, breaking news, why I subscribed? Yeah, yeah, that's what we try to do on this channel. We try to do breaking news, recruiting. That's the main niche here. But I'll talk about anything. Like, obviously, we talk about the games. Off-season content we'll get into, obviously, in the off-season. But I listen to Husker Online. That's the only one, really. I don't listen to any others because I think Husker Online has the best intel. Like, no offense to the other beat reporters who have podcasts. I don't think they really know that much. Like, they don't have intel. I think Sean Callahan has intel. So he'll drop nuggets from time to time, or like past nuggets that I think are cool. That's really the only one I listen to. I don't listen to other Nebraska podcasts. Like, I don't know. Do you want to join the 3-3 program? I don't know what that is. What's the 3-3 program? Let me know. What can we expect from Jalen George right away? Depth. I thought you were majoring in broadcasting. Shocked. I'm not. But again, I have that history. I have that background. Like, that's why, obviously, like and here's the thing. A lot of people, this is another tip for people who want to be content creators. People, like, there's a lot of ums. If you listen to a lot of podcasts, there's and they don't use their voice very well. They don't have great voice inflection. They're not necessarily sure about what they're saying. When you get better and you're more experienced, you have broadcasting and you're making these videos constantly, you get better at talking. So that's why I think broadcasting really helped me out with this channel. Is that, I mean, obviously I speak professionally, where there's a lot of Nebraska YouTubers or just YouTubers in general. Like, I'll watch them and they'll be and it's, I don't know. That's my take. Does Sip know what he's talking about with some of his takes? I think Sipple's just funny, man. Like, I don't expect Sipple to be an expert when I listen to him. I just think he's funny. I really do. Like, sometimes he'll drop a couple nuggets on you. Sipple, the funny thing about Sipple, he knows absolutely nothing about recruiting. He'll tell you that. Like, he knows nothing about recruiting. But I think Sipple's funny. I think he's a good personality. But yeah, I don't think he knows a lot what he's talking about sometimes. But he doesn't even know. Like, sometimes he'll like mispronounce like a player on the team. Like, it'll be like, he'll say, like, somebody said Garrett Nelson in the chat earlier. He'll be like, oh yeah, that tight end Garrett Nelson. And Sean will be like, you mean Carter Nelson? No, but I like Sipple. Oh, by the way, touchdown Memphis, 26-14 over West Virginia, almost halftime. Almost a little break there. It's funny to listen to Sipple hype up every crappy opponent. Yeah, dude. I like Sipple, though. He's funny. Like, I don't read his articles. I just listen to his podcast. I think he's funny. Hail Varsity's decent. Yeah, I don't listen to Hail Varsity. Who's even on that? Let me know. Who are the hosts of the Hail Varsity podcast? I don't even know. Like, I probably recognize their names, but I'm not sure of it off the top of my head. Do you think Zach Branch will come to Nebraska? No. I don't think Zach Branch. WD, are there any non-sports podcasts or channels that you like? That's a good question. I mean, podcasts, I listen to Joe Rogan. I do. I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. I like, let's see. Let me pull up my subscriptions right now. Let me see what I'm subscribed to. There's a lot of just like random stuff on here, like some history channels, NFL channels, a lot of sports channels. Yeah, nothing crazy. I like geography a lot. So like, there's this channel I watch that's like a geography channel where like they'll go to a different country every now and then. Like, I forget what it's called. What is it called? Let me. I'm trying to find this channel. I don't know. I'm trying to give you an answer here. I don't know. I just listen to a bunch of random stuff, but I'm not a huge YouTube watcher, to be honest with you. Like, that's the funny thing about me having a YouTube channel, is that like, I'm not like a huge YouTube watcher. Like, I don't sit down and watch YouTube videos in my free time. Like, I don't know. Husker Line is the only Nebraska podcast I listen to. I agree with you, dude. I really, because, I can't get myself, I don't really like watching or listening to Nebraska fan podcasts, because I'll be listening to these podcasts and I'll be like, these guys don't know more than me, like I pride myself on knowing the program very well. I don't know everything, obviously. I'm not perfect, but like, I'll listen to Nebraska fan podcast channels or podcasts, and they won't even know like a recruit. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, why am I even wasting my time? The reason why I like Sean, and because I truly believe Sean knows who he's talking about. You know what I mean? He'll drop nuggets. So that's the only one I really listen to is Husker Online. Your channel, Adam Carricker and Husker Online, are way more are way more than content for me. I appreciate it, my man. Appreciate you. Again, Carricker does a great job. Husker Online does a great job. Those guys, great channels. Rose Anvil boot channel. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Why is Bo Nix overrated? I mean, look at his last game. He threw 2-3 picks. Yeah, he's not great. He's getting carried by the best defense in the NFL. That's my take, my man. Are you a Broncos fan, Nathan? I don't know. Colby, what are the chances with Isaiah World? Oregon and A&M are the biggest NIL threats. I think Oregon's the team to beat there. If Texas A&M was going to land him, they would have landed him right after that visit. But I don't know. I'd say again, what did I say earlier? Like 40%? I'll stand by that. Can you live stream yourself going to a game, the whole experience? That would be interesting. Well, live stream. Well, I don't know because nobody's going to watch me live streaming a game when they could be watching the game on television. Maybe a video like a vlog, but I wouldn't be. I mean, sometimes people know this if you've, watched my post-game live streams. I live stream myself outside Memorial Stadium, walking back to my car, but that's about the best you're going to get from me there. Do the national shows like On3 know more than local guys? No. Very, very few. Like, well, to be honest with you, there's not many Nebraska recruiting YouTubers. Like, I'm literally the only one who covers Nebraska recruiting extensively, and that's why we've had the success that we have had. So I guess On3 maybe sometimes will give a scoop, but the On3 YouTube channel, like I'll watch them and they'll be like, oh, Nebraska recruiting update, and they'll never give intel. When I say Nebraska recruiting update in my videos, there's literally every single time a nugget that I haven't told you guys before in there. Like On3 will just put out crap. They'll be like Nebraska recruiting update, and there'll be nothing new. Like they did that all the time with the Michael Terry sweepstakes. I don't know. Some channels are just for the chat, for fans to gather, complain, and shoot the crap. I don't know. I don't know what channels you'd be referring to. There's not like a bunch of big Nebraska channels. Like, I don't know how many, like, let me know what are the big Nebraska YouTube channels? Like, obviously the big three right now, I mean, I'm talking fan channels, like not Husker Online. The big three, Nebraska, Corn Crazed, obviously, Adam Carricker, and then me. I'm number 3 right now on the Nebraska pedestal of YouTubers, which is literally, it's insane to say that. But who are the other, like, the big Nebraska YouTubers? Like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, obviously Justin Adams, Nebraska Voice of College Football. I mean, who are the other Nebraska YouTubers? I don't, like, there's a lot of them. There's just not a lot of successful ones. It's very interesting to me. There's like a bunch of random channels out there, like with like 20 subs. But let me know what are the other Nebraska YouTubers that you guys are subscribed to? Like, are you guys subscribed to any others? Like, I would be interested in knowing that in the comment section. Let me know. Would like to see you on a podcast of Nebraska opponents. Are you interested in having a Boston College pod correspondent on your show previewing the game? Yeah, we'll do a Boston College preview next week. Maybe. I'd prefer to have like a Boston College person on there, like that knows the program very well, but I don't know. What was the loss this season that hurt you the most? It was not Indiana. It was Illinois. Illinois and UCLA hurt pretty bad. UCLA, like I was going to that game. I go to most of my games with my dad, and me and my dad are driving to the game. My dad's kind of a pessimist because he's, he tries because he gets really angry when we lose, and so he's trying to not have too much emotion about Nebraska. But anyways, me and my dad are driving to the UCLA game. He's hyped up. And when my dad's hyped up, I'm like, what are we talking? Like, he's kind of pessimistic, but he's like, say we make a bowl game. We lost to UCLA, and that was just crushing. Like, that was all-time low. When we lost to UCLA, I was pissed off. But that in Illinois. Illinois hurt me, dude. Illinois hurt me. JD Pinkel's good. I like JD Pinkel. Yeah, I think he's good. I just don't know how much recruiting intel he has. But I like his takes. Like, I'll listen to On3 and him, like, previewing Nebraska this season. I thought he had a good video about that. But I'm not a big YouTube watcher. You don't post much on your X. What are your best Nebraska X follows? I'm trying to get off of Twitter. I'm honestly, like, I think Twitter is just garbage. Like, that's the scum of the earth. Twitter is really, really bad. Really, really bad. So I try to get off there. I'm trying not to be active. The only reason why I'm on Twitter now is because I get a bunch of inside scoops on Twitter. Like that's where I text all of the recruits. I text some players from the team on Twitter. So, but I don't know. I don't know any big follows there. I just think I'm trying to get off Twitter, to be honest with you. I just think it's crap. I think there's so many people on there are really just immature, and yeah, that's life, man. That's life. JD is good, but he puts on rose-colored glasses for every team he talks about. I agree with you. But that's all the national. Here's my thing. I don't think the national beat reporters like JD. JD's good, but JD doesn't know more about Nebraska football than, a Nebraska YouTuber. So I never go and listen to national beat reporters talk about Nebraska and try to give me some scoop because they don't know more about the program than us. Because they don't follow the program more than us. Like, if I'm trying to get a scoop, I listen to Nebraska guys. I don't know. I find the On3 channel kind of mid. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I don't watch too much. I think SMU will be the perennial contender. Yeah, maybe, dude. SMU, they had a good year. Will Condon show is entertaining. Yeah, I listen to Buster with the Boys sometimes. Very, very sometimes. Like when they have the president on there, I was tuning in. You guys know me, right? Don't want to get political, but I was like, oh, this is fun. I'll listen to that. When he had Amir Abdullah on there, I watched that one. Bo Pelini, Scott Frost, Bo, right? Yeah, they had some good busting with the boys. What happened to the guys at Big Red Homestead? I don't know, dude. I'll tell you that, man. Like when Big Red Homestead, like that was the only one channel that I watched growing up. Like Big Red Homestead, whatever they're called, Backseat Sports at the time. Those are like that was the only channel I watched, and they just like disappeared. I don't know. That was weird. I don't know if they're gonna come back. Maybe they just got. I mean, life happens, right? Like they're getting old. Like when they started doing it, they were in college. I think they're like 28 now. So I don't even know, man. Are we alarmed at the wide receiver position? I know we signed 2 studs. We're gonna be fine because we're getting transfers there, and we brought in a good recruiting class. Like we're fine. Corn Craze, the Minnesota guy as far as fan channels. Who's the Minnesota guy? I don't know who the Minnesota guy is. I know who Corn Craze is, but I don't who's the Minnesota guy? Enlighten me. Yeah, let me know like again what Nebraska YouTubers you watch besides like the big ones, right? Like me, Carricker, Corn Craze. Like, are there any other Nebraska YouTubers you guys watch? I'm just interested because I need it. Like, I don't know. I think it's interesting to see how many others there are. Ken says, as a recruiting guy, do you think the star ratings are too tough? No, I don't think they're too tough. I think people get this wrong all the time. The star ratings reflect potential, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't mean that a recruit's the best. It just means that they have the highest potential. That's what they mean, in my opinion. Would we have won 9+ we beat Illinois? Maybe. Nathan, what's up, my man? Hope you're having a good night. Vlog, I guess. Yeah, we might. Again, maybe. I'll keep that in the back pocket. I almost did this year. You were projecting as starters on this defense for now. Do you want me to run through it? I mean, let's see. Okay. Defensive line, Van Poppel, Judy, and Cameron Lenhard. Linebackers, Shavers, McGahee, transfer. And then defensive backs, transfer, Sierre, transfer. That's my pick. What do you think of Josh Pate? I think he's fine. I think Josh Pate's fine. He's not, he's okay. I listened to his podcast a lot like 2 years ago, but not as much anymore. I only really listen to like these kind of content in like the off season, like July. I don't really listen to too much of that during the actual year. Lockdown Boston College is good. Yeah, I don't know. I might reach out to them. We might do something like that. But I usually don't have too many collabs on the channel just because it's a lot of effort to like figure out what time works and everything. Listen to Damon Benning in the mornings. Yeah, dude, I miss when Damon Benning was on 1620. When him and Sharp, Benning and Sharp in the morning, or Sharp and Benning, that was clutch. I would listen to that all the time, like driving to high school. And then they didn't do that anymore. And then it was Severe and Benning, or Severe and Benning, or it was Sharp and Sharp. I don't even know. Anyways, but when Benning was on 1620, I liked it. But now I don't really listen to Benning as much because he's on the Lincoln radio, I think. But 1620 is better. Biggest Nebraska bust in the last 10 years. I was thinking about this yesterday. Fedoni's got to be on the list. Fedoni was a borderline 5-star. Like we got to talk about Fedoni being a potential pretty big bust. there's a lot of them, man. I mean I mean Corcoran's a big bust. He was a perennial 5-star. Malachi, obviously, we could consider him a bust. He was pretty close to a 5-star. I don't know. We've had a lot of busts. Tyjon Lindsey's a good name. That was definitely a bust for the Huskers. I mean, Patrick O'Brien. Yeah, there was a lot, dude. A lot of busts because we weren't good. How seriously will Nebraska prepare for Michigan next year? Well, we're going to prepare like we do for every single game. We're going to prepare. We're going to get ready to win. That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to go into it and win. Big Red Rant is a good fan channel, right to the point. Yeah, I think I've came across them. They get some crazy views on their channel, which is like nuts to me. Like they'll get like 20K on like a random video. But I'll tell you what, those guys, they know how to get views. One of those guys I think runs a Suns fan channel. So, John Johnson, yeah, John Johnson's cool. I'll like, obviously, like, John Johnson never has like some crazy intel, but like I'll watch him because like his reactions are pretty funny and they're pretty accurate. Like he'll tell it like it is after a loss. Like he'll sit in the bathroom and he'll be like, I'm in the bathroom because this is where crap goes and the Huskers play like crap. Like John Johnson's so funny, man. I like him. I really do. Is Eric Rivers taking the visit to Georgia Tech a bad sign? No, I think we'll be fine there. But the other schools he's visiting, like Penn State, that's tough. That's tough. Prediction: next commit player on Nebraska might transfer out. Next transfer commit, I think it's going to be AJ Penna. And then, I think Andrew Marshall will be the next transfer commit. Next guy to transfer out, I don't think anybody of significance is going to transfer out. So that's tough to even think about. I don't know. We have 7 teams on the schedule next year that didn't make a bowl game. Yeah, the schedule next year is a joke, man. We should run through it if we're a competent team. If we're a competent team, we should run through it. Top 3 biggest Nebraska transfer losses: Princewell, Dante, and then I mean, you probably got to throw in Jamari there. Those are your 3. Williams DeWanery has Chase Young upside, but he's a project. Completely agree with you. Again, he's a big project. He has some off-the-field issues they got to clean up. Patrick says, what's up, Dit? What up, my man? Hope you're having a good night. Hope you're having a great night. What do you think about Scott Frost hiring Alex Grinch? It was a terrible hire. I don't know what he's doing. But I know the only reason he's doing it is because he can have a fall man when it doesn't work out at UCF. Like he'll be sitting there year 2 and they don't make a bowl game. And he'll be like, guys, we're gonna fire Alex Grinch because he's the reason we're losing. He's just gonna scapegoat it. Like that's the whole reason. Luke McCaffrey is one of our biggest busts. Busts for us maybe. We didn't play him at the right position though. Because Luke McCaffrey's playing on Sundays now at wide receiver. And he's actually playing pretty darn good. So he was a bust for us maybe, but that's our fault. Like, that was on us for not putting him at wide receiver. Marlon Lucky, kind of. I mean, obviously was never the 5-star that he was supposed to be, but he's still a good player. Charles or Tarver Jr. should start. I think Tarver should start at corner. I do. But we're going to get a corner transfer, I think, who starts instead. I only watch John Johnson when we lose. Yeah, man, he's funny, dude. I like him. Have you met Nora Sis? I have not. She's older than me. Usually, the way it works in college, if you're a freshman, you don't really see seniors around because seniors live off campus. So I've not ran into Nora Sis. No. But she was a good player, dude. Good volleyball player for sure. FSU is bad. Penn State, Clemson 2. I'm not sure what we're talking about. How often do you do live shows? It depends. Like, there's no like schedule or anything. I just kind of do them whenever there's like a recruiting update I want to go over. We do live streams after every football game, so be here the Saturday after next. But I might go live again next week, depending on what's going on. But there's no like schedule. If we don't run through it, is Dylan gone? It depends how many wins you get. If you get less than 6 wins, Matt Rhule should be fired. Let's be real. I just don't think Dylan's leaving. Like, I think we could win 0 games next year. I think Dylan would stay. Just because he has so many connections. He's so tied to this university at this point. I kind of wish we never left the Big 10. We would win, or Big 12. I think we'd win there. I don't wish that. We have, the Big 10 was the right move. They are the perennial top conference. We would be garbage if we were in the Big 12. Every program worth something left the Big 12. Oklahoma left the Big 12. Texas left the Big 12. Texas A&M left the Big 12. Missouri left the Big 12. Nebraska left the Big 12. Every single program that's worth the darn it got out of that failing conference. Nebraska's lucky they did. Dylan is gone if we don't win 9 games. I don't think so. Dylan will stay. What would be the nail in the coffin for Matt Rhule Nebraska tenure if he didn't make a bowl game next year? Honestly, I think if we only win 6 games next year, Matt Rhule might have to have a conversation. A little late, but Nebraska conversation. Isn't she AI? Like, the first time I watched her, like, I don't know, like, she just popped up on my feed, and I was like, this is a new channel, I'll watch it. And I literally thought it was AI. It was like great background. I'm like, who the heck is this chick? But no, her videos are funny. Like, there's no, like, she doesn't give you like a great scouting report of the teams, but her videos are pretty funny. Like, they're entertaining. I'll give her that. But no, I like her. Hopefully she sticks to it though. Like, I don't know how consistent she's gonna be in the off season, but her videos are funny. I hope she stays with it, man. I really do. Have you met the Jersey guy on TikTok? I have not. I don't go to Lincoln, so I couldn't have met him. But no, he's funny. I mean, not he's funny, but his whole shtick of wearing a jersey every day is cool, and that's cool that they gave him all the jerseys that they did. That was a cool thing. What do you think of the best place to get Husker gear? It's tough. I mean, online, obviously, but like in real life, Husker Hounds is a good place if you're in Omaha. Husker Hounds is a lot of good stuff. There's one kind of where I live. I live kind of by the Ralston area, Ralston Papillion area. There's one over here. Can't think of what street it's on, but Husker Hounds in Omaha. But yeah, because I live right close there. Like, I'm smack dab by Ralston Papillion. Who are starters on the D for the bowl game? I'd say Van Poppel, Len. Well, no, actually no, because the seniors are going to be here. It's going to be kind of the same guys. I mean, I think it'll be the same guys that we've already seen pretty much for the most part. It'll be defensive line. It'll be Ty, Nash, Lenhard. Linebackers will be Shavers, Bullock, and then MJ Sherman. And then defensive backs will be the same guys: Singleton, Isaac Gifford, Marquise Buford, Sear Wright, and then maybe Blyhill. Maybe. Best and worst coaching hires by Rhule this offseason. Best one was the wide receivers coach. Worst one was probably I'm not a big fan of John Butler being the DC, so I'd say that. Like, he's okay, but it wasn't a great hire. It wasn't like a home run. Chancellor Brewington had better career than Fedoni. No, he didn't. Brewington was not that good. Brewington only had like these great blocks on like poles, but he was on motions. Drake beat K-State in basketball. I didn't see that, man. She is not AI. Corn Craze the same thing. Basically had on those to apologize. That's funny. Yeah, I hope she finds success. I don't see, the tough thing about Nebraska YouTube is that, and this is why we've had so much success on this channel, is everybody goes into hibernation in the offseason. Like, all the big channels just leave. And then it's just me making content. Like obviously it's very contested right now. There's so many Nebraska YouTube channels making videos. But when we get into January, from January to July, it's just Wilson. Like, everybody just takes a break. Like, I try to tell people this. Like, the off season is where you get big. Like, that's where people, because there's less competition. So hopefully she can stick to it and make off season content. But I don't know. Was Dowdell really that big of a loss? He was. Like, he had 12 touchdowns this year, and people say he wasn't elusive, he wasn't fast. He wasn't asked to be fast. He was just a big bruiser power back who, if you were on the goal line, you give it to him when he gets you 6. I thought Dowdell was good. Now, was he perfect? No. But he was a darn good running back who had success in Nebraska and was a good guy with potential. He's a 4-star recruit coming to high school too. So it was a loss. All right, guys, continue to put your final stuff in the comments section. More questions, Q&A, whatever you want. I'll try to get to them. So put your stuff in the comment section. We'll try to go. I'll go as long as you guys have questions. Been a fun live stream today, talking about trend report, talking about whatever. But again, put your final stuff in the comment section that you want me to get to. Let me know your thoughts. Just any comment you got, whether it's transfers, whether it's college football, whether it's off-season, recruiting, channel, future videos, personal life, whatever. Let me know your thoughts. We'll get to your final things in the comment section. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me, though. Again, make sure to hit that like button on the stream. It helps people see it after we get done out of here. Also, make sure to subscribe. Again, thank you guys for 9,000 today, man. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy we hit 9,000, but we're on the road to 10K. Y'all know how it is, man. We're going to continue to grind, continue to put in the work, continue to put the best content out there on Husker YouTube, and hopefully we hit 10,000 before New Year's. That's the goal. So if you're somehow watching this, you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Really helps me out a lot. But let's get to your final stuff, guys. You can put stuff in the comment section. I'll go as long as you guys have stuff to talk about. Milroe an NFL guy. He's super inconsistent. I don't think so. I'm not a big Milroe guy. I don't think he'll be successful in the NFL. Biggest need on the offense and defense remaining. Well, corner on defense for sure. As for offense, wide receiver. Dowdell has some of the worst vision. I don't think so. I actually thought he had decent vision. I think people were just too tough on him. But again, he wasn't asked to have great vision. He was actually just go find the darn hole, smash through it, and see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's a loss. Best player in Nebraska this season. I'd say Ty. I'd say Ty Robinson and Corey Barnett are your two. I'd say those are your two. Most attractive volleyball player in Nebraska. We are not doing this. You guys can feel free to answer this. Respect these young women. They are athletes. They should not be looked at that way. That is not nice. That is not nice. Not answering that question. Not on stream. Not on stream. I'm just messing around with you. But no, I'm not answering that question. Come on. What are we doing here? Come on. You guys want to clip me and then get me canceled? Like, no. I respect these women as athletes. As athletes above everything. Would Dana stay the second year if we had a good offense next year? Dana's going to stay, I think, for the long haul, which I'm excited about. I think he's going to be here for the next, as long as Rhule's here. Have a good night, sir. Appreciate it, my man. Who was the biggest recruit Nebraska missed out on? Michael Terry. If you're talking about portal, I don't know. But if you're talking about recruiting, it was Michael Terry. Just want to say I love the channel. First thing I watch in the morning on my way to work. Appreciate you, Rocky, man. Appreciate that so much. It means a lot to me, dude. Appreciate that so much. What's your score prediction for the bowl game? You're trying to steal my content from me, man. That's next Friday's video. Next Friday's video, I will release that. So December 27th. Which incoming freshman will make the biggest impact in 25? Let's see. I think Dawson. Will make the biggest impact, along with Isaiah Mosley. Those are my two. Draft content in the future. I don't know. I mean, maybe talking Nebraska. I'm going to stick with Nebraska. Right? I'm not going to veer off from Nebraska unless I get too big, and then maybe I'll talk about college football someday. But no. Well, I got to stick with Nebraska pretty much. Dane Key to Georgia, yeah. Or Ole Miss. I don't think we're going to get Dane Key. Thoughts on Kalen committing to Virginia? I thought it was a mistake, because Virginia took a quarterback today and he got screwed over again. So I think he made a mistake. But I'm glad he got in a good situation on the Power 4 school. I wish him the best of luck. Wish him the best of luck. Let's see. Hold on. With the schools taking over money in NIL, will eliminate these crazy deals like I saw with that Texas receiver that went to A&M. No, with schools taking over money. No, and money's just going to get more. There's going to be more money every single year, dude. Have a good night, my man. Got to get to work tomorrow. Appreciate you, Chris. Have a good night, dog. Anyone going to the bowl game? I am not. I was hoping it was in Florida. It's not in Florida. I'm not going to New York City. Not going to New York City. Matt says, I just want to say I really appreciate the channel, Wilson. I stumbled it on accident about a month ago. I'm 45, so we have an age difference, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Matt, I appreciate you, my man. Trust me, dude. 45 is not that big of an age difference. We have people of all ages. Like I go into Nebraska football games, and I ran to people of all ages. I ran to people that were my age that watched my channel. I ran to people who are 20, 30, 40. I ran to people who are 70 and watch my channel. So there's, again, we have a bunch of different viewers on this channel from all ages, all ways of life, all, economic statuses, men, women, live in Nebraska, not live in Nebraska. I think that's the coolest thing about this channel. There's a lot of people from different walks of life coming together with one goal, with one hobby, with one passion. That's Nebraska football. That is Nebraska football. Inside Nebraska is good recruiting videos. Yeah, I like Tim a lot. I like Tim over there Inside Nebraska. Thoughts on Nebraska, Cincinnati, KC? I'll be there. As for, I don't really like neutral site games, but I'll be there. I think it'll be a fun atmosphere. Is Arch Manning going to transfer? No, he's going to be the starting quarterback next year. I'm a little more down on Rhule than you. I'm not sold. I I wish I could tell you differently. I think all of your pessimism is accurate with Matt Rhule. But there's some things he needs to prove to us next year. What year do you think Raiola will win the Heisman? maybe 2026. Where do you predict our recruiting class will rank for 2025? Well, when the transfer portal's all said and done, probably top 25. Maybe I don't think it'll be top 20 if you're incorporating the transfer portal. Just because more programs take more players than us. What do you know about the long tapper we got? I heard he graded out well on Pro Football Focus. I don't have the scouting report on him, but I heard he was good. So I wish I could tell you guys like, oh, he spins the ball a certain way, good velocity on that spin. Like I don't know, man. I heard he's a good long snapper. Let's hope he is. If Nebraska goes to a Las Vegas Bowl, we were hanging out, Wilson. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We'll see if that happens. I don't know what bowl games are in Las Vegas. I'm sure there's one or two. Long snapper and punter commits. Seems like Ed Foley will remain special teams coach in 25. Yep, Ed Foley will stay. Yeah, I'm not sold on Rhule, but I'm not exactly in on him. Yeah, I agree. I'm same way. I'm in between, man. I'm in between, but I'm supporting him. Joe says, we all appreciate your daily content, Wilson. We're all fortunate for your amazing commitment. Thank you. Hey, Joe, I appreciate you. Appreciate that comment. It's very nice. I do it for you guys. Like these streams are so much fun, man. Like I enjoy talking to you guys, talking to the comment section. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in all my videos. Means a lot to me. It really does, man. It really does. It's so much fun, dude. It really is fun. And again, appreciate everybody who tunes in. Subscribe to the channel, and let's get to 10,000, man. Let's get to 10,000 before the end of 2024. We should get rid of Foley. I agree, but that's tomorrow's video. Watch out for that one. I'll post that probably tomorrow afternoon. Heard Pittman was here again recently. Need to lock him down. Tony, yeah, man. 5-star in the class of 27. Hopefully we can get him. Doesn't Foley's contract expire December 31st? Is that so? I don't know about that. Text me on that. Text me on that accent. Text me on Twitter. I don't know. That might be the case. Is there like intel? I don't know. Interesting a little bit there. Love them coming to KC, live in KC. Yeah, man, that'll be a fun game. Las Vegas Bowl. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday we'll make the Las Vegas Bowl. Quit your day job, full-time YouTuber. I don't know, dude. Hey, I'll tell you this. December has been a very lucrative month. If I can make as much money as I do in December, I would do this full-time. Trust me. Like, December's been a great month for the channel, but I will not make as much money as I do in December. December is just a good month for content. So, and I don't do it for money anyway. Money's just it's a helper. Obviously some incentive, but I do it for you guys, and I love the community we've built, and it's fun on my part. Like I just have fun making these videos. All right, guys, put your final stuff in the comment section. It's been a fun live stream, 2 hours. Got a bowl game coming. It's crazy. We're talking about the offseason. We're talking about transfer portal. We forget we play football in about 10 days. So that'll be fun to watch that Boston College game. Hopefully get that W, have a winning season, and then we'll have a good transfer portal class. But again, put your final stuff in the comment section. We'll try to get to these last second stuff. You guys got nothing. It is what it is. We'll get out of here. But I got to go watch the second half of this bowl game, man. I'm hoping Memphis wins. I picked them in my bowl game pick'em, so I need to start off hot with Memphis. But looks like nobody has anything else to say. All right. Appreciate you guys. It was a fun live stream. Make sure to hit that like button on the stream. Really helps me out. Make sure to subscribe. But again, appreciate every single one of you guys. Appreciate all of your support as always. We'll get to one last second comment here from Huskers. Nebraska's 3 kickers, and he will move on. I think Tristan Vaughn probably will move on. I think we should move on from him, but I don't know. He'll probably stay. If he hasn't moved on by now, I don't think he will. All right, guys. Looks like that is it. Appreciate you guys. Let's get out of here. But again, appreciate everybody who supports me, who's watching all these videos. Road to 10,000. Let's hit 10,000 by New Year's, guys. I'm excited. Again, so grateful for every single one of you. All right, hit the like button on the stream. Thank you guys all for watching. Have a very good night. Go Big Red. Go Matt Rhule. See you in the next one.